Hey, what's up? Welcome everyone to the 2013 Forza Le Mans Live Challenge. My name is Brian Eckberg, joined by Christian Gurgis. Christian, how you doing?
Good, good. I'm looking forward to this.
This is awesome. So while the real race is happening in Le Mans, the 24 hours is happening even as we speak. It's getting dark in France. They're about to go for a night full of racing. We're going to be racing for the next 2.5 hours here in Forza Motorsport 4 for the Forza Le Mans Live Challenge. We've got 15 of some of the best racers in Forza Motorsport here, representing a bunch of different teams. Guys like TORA, the Online Racing Association, Virtual Motorsport, Formula Forza, and some indies as well. So glad you're here. We're going to have an awesome race. I'm actually talking to the guys in my headset right now. Christian and I will be here for the next 2.5 hours, calling the action and basically hanging out with you guys as well. So I say we kick this thing off.
Let's do it.
You ready to do it? All right, let me get on the line with these guys and tell them to kick it off. Takumi, we're ready to go. Whenever you're ready, kick it off. Yep. All right, let's kick it off. I'm going to spectate. I am not part of this race.
I'm looking forward to watching that start.
Yeah, these are some of the best in the world. I have no place on this grid. So just to let you guys know, let's talk a little bit about how we set this race up. This is a 2.5-hour race on Le Mans, of course. We've got two cars. We've got the Ford GT40 and the Ferrari 330. So it's sort of a classic race. They're racing on the current configuration of the track, right?
It's very competitive cars, very comparable cars.
Yep, yep. So, and you can see I don't know how much you guys saw, but it's about even. I let them choose whatever cars they want, and it's about even down the line. Yeah. So we should see a good race. Random grid order. There's no qualifying or anything like that, of course. So we're just letting the computer take over.
Yeah, and grid order matters a whole lot less when the race is 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
you have plenty of time to make your moves and for your speed.
Absolutely. So we'll see how these guys do as we kick things off.
For a good clean start here.
Yep. Let's see how this first corner goes. It's always fun, but these guys are awesome. So
they
I don't
know
expect,
what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't expect any problems here.
It's always a bit tricky. Your tires are cold. You're kind of getting used to the car on the track.
Oh, there's some. Somebody spun out. Wonder if we can see that.
One small incident.
All the way to the back, probably. I'd imagine he's spun himself around a little bit. Yep. That's LMR Johnny. Had some sort of incident there in that first corner. Got himself spun around. He's got some catching up to do now.
It's very tough to get through that first set of chicanes cleanly when you have 16 cars on the track or 15 cars on the track.
Yep. Cosmetic damage, so these guys don't have to worry about the car breaking down or anything like that. But they probably will be looking a bit rough by the end of this race because I imagine they'll be trading some paint. Let's get back up to the front of the... Oh, another spin. Right another spin. Who was that? Find out who that was. That was the Bulin wall, I think.
And that's David Hawk.
Hoke. He was very specific. Hoke. It's David Hoke.
David Hoke.
Yes, Formula Forza man. You can see that on his car there.
Let's see what's going on in the front.
Front? All right, let's do it. Up to the... HMR Motorhead. He's got a couple guys on his tail.
Got a good peg going on here.
I can't see the first place driver. That's weird. Showing me the second place driver, but not the first place driver.
Unless... We've got two Ferraris and a Ford belling it out for second, third, and fourth. That'd be interesting.
They're right on each other's tail. That is Mopar and TPR Box. Anyone who knows...
Anyone who's ever looked at the board.
Yeah, you know TPR Box. He's one of our leaderboard kings.
Board.
Yeah. 2-time or 3-time, like, king of the track champion.
Yeah.
The guy is a serious racer. For some reason I can't see the first place racer.
I'm impressed with how even the cars are. You can see that Ferrari is not really getting much on the Ford and vice versa. I don't know if you mentioned this, they're all tuned up to the top of A-Class.
Yep. We allowed the guys to do whatever they wanted with tunes in A-Class, and some of them have liveries and some don't. We don't have a number scheme or anything like that. So
the car we're watching right now, I mean, they all have race numbers, and this car has a subtle Ferrari badge on the back. I like that.
Mopar's right behind him, right? So
yeah.
And then right behind them is Bob Dixon. Bob Dixon 76, I should say, chasing them in the GT40.
Apex there. It's gonna just around.
But already the top three have really opened a gap between, there's a huge gap between third and fourth place here already. 2 or 3 seconds, I would imagine. Just see what's happening in sixth place. This is Siphon 68.
You know, it's not that big of a gap. You can still see the car in front, and there's plenty of cars in the back.
The Formula Forza guys all come with the same livery. That's pretty slick.
It's a really nice looking Ford
GT. Yeah, looks hot.
Yeah, you can see the 3 Ferraris right on his tail right there.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty bunched up here.
Just coming around to finish their first lap. The tires should be warm enough now.
I don't know, it looks like it's opening up pretty... Should we get on board with some of these people?
Yeah.
Let's try that. Let's get
see
back.
Robin already took second place.
Yep. I think he's the overall leader. It says second place, but he's got to be the overall leader because there's nobody in front of him. Camera type, let's go. Wheel. We want to look ahead. That's the view from the looking behind the first place car. Oh, there is someone in front of him. It's hard to say. I can't tell. Slow spin. Which is the game cameras? That's what we want.
Yeah, so he's now showing in first place.
Yeah, there we go.
It'll be interesting to see his lines. See how he's using all the track. He's actually putting one wheel off on the entry.
Sliding a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, could have done a little better there. Easier said than done, obviously.
So you've had a lot of experience on Le Mans, I would imagine.
Virtual experience.
Yeah, of course, of course. High-speed track, but it's got some tricky corners.
It's got a lot of tricky corners, and the straights kind of break it apart. So I personally find it hard to kind of get into a rhythm at Le Mans just because the lap is so long, over 4 minutes. And so it takes you a while to see the same corner over and over again. It's not like a 1.5 minute lap where you just kind of get into the rhythm and keep doing it.
It's not as grueling as the Nürburgring because you do have those moments where you can relax. Like here, you can kind of relax.
Relax your hands if you're using a wheel or gamepad.
Which I imagine most of these guys are probably using a wheel. I didn't ask, but I would imagine.
I know Robin uses a gamepad.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I'm not sure what everybody else uses.
Proof that you don't have to use a wheel to be really fast.
No, it doesn't really matter which controller you use. It's your experience with it.
Looking behind him, he's opening up a little bit of a gap there to Mopar.
And that's impressive for 1.5 laps.
Yep. I didn't actually see where TPR box started, but I imagine it'd be close to the front. With this level of skill, boy, it's going to be tough to come from the back and get anywhere near the front.
It's going to be tough for sure, but 2.5 hours is a really long time.
Yep. You never know when their concentration will lapse. You never know when our concentration will lapse.
One mistake and you're in the wall.
That's right.
You've lost 10 or 20 or even 30 seconds.
Yep. And we should also point out that before the race began, we have only cosmetic damage on, but the guys all agreed to a gentleman's agreement to 1 pit stop apiece. So then, and they also said they're not going to do it on the first or last lap. So we will be looking out for pit stops. We obviously won't be able to keep track of everybody, but we trust all these guys. So look how he cut there, right there. That was really interesting.
You can get away with a little bit of that,
Yeah.
not too much of it.
Looks like you can see Box kicking up a little dirt there ahead of him.
You're always trying to make the track as wide as you can.
Yep.
So
Let's go take a look at some of the guys in the midfield. I haven't seen Bullet yet. Let's move over to him. See how his battle's going. Tough little scrap with a GT40 ahead of him. He's looking down the tailpipe of LMR Midnight. Who does he have behind him? Yep, he's got somebody right on his tail. So that's what's really impressive, because to me, you know, the more you race, especially a longer event like this, it's draining enough just to do the race. But when you have consistent pressure behind you, that's just another layer of difficulty and stress on you.
And different drivers will do differently under pressure. Some are better at leading, some are better at following. I can say that having a car right in front of you there that you're chasing is both a blessing and a curse, because you know, you have your goal, you have your target right ahead of you. You can see every time you make a little bit of time on them. But at the same time, it's very easy to get in that trance where you're just doing everything they're doing and you're not making up any time.
You're
making
racing
the same mistakes
yep.
they're making. They
You're
brake
racing.
late, brake late.
Oh, look at this. He's got him right on his tail. Look, he's going to get him right here. He's going to get him. Got him on the draft. But you're right. I mean, you find yourself racing the car as opposed to racing the track.
It takes a lot of concentration to kind of still keep an eye on the guy in front of you and the guys behind you, but still kind of drive your line, don't drive their line.
Yep. And, you know, it's a classic, oh, wow, he overshot that chicane
again,
too
that's
far.
the pressure of leading. You just make a move, you take the place, and then...
And that's going to cost him at least another position.
Yeah, gain the spot loss too.
Yep.
Right in one
So
corner.
who is that behind him? That's Bulin Wall behind him. So F4H Bullet, you know, withstood the pressure. Didn't worry about the fact that he got passed. Yep, just
didn't lose track of his braking marker.
Yep, well done. But he's still got a car ahead of him, and now he's got some pressure from. Wow, look at that! That was aggressive.
That's a ton of time gained right there.
Yep. That is Bulin Wall. Oh, a little nudge there. He's just encouraging him.
Tap, yeah.
He's just encouraging him. We are 10 minutes into this race, and things are getting dicey. We've gone 21 miles so far. Look at this, right down to the end.
Everybody's kept it clean. Everybody's keeping an eye on the mirrors.
Yep. Let's see how they tackle this chicane here at the end. Oh, he got him. He just outbroke him.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because I can't tell if it's the Ford GT is just that much better on the braking, or if Bullet is just kind of taking it easy and, you know, slow and steady wins the race, right?
Yeah, it could be. Bulin Wall was a nice pass. You could see that Bullet stayed away from him at the end of that braking.
And he's making the time back. You can see on the straight, down the straight, it looks like the Ferrari might be a little bit faster than that Ford.
Yep, not sure he'll have enough room to make it stick here to get around him. But that's the great thing, you know, no pass is final on a track like Le Mans.
No.
You've got plenty of room.
And they're both still in touch with the car ahead of them.
Yep. This is a great race back here. We'll return back to these guys in just a little bit, but let's take a little bit further look back in the field. Go over to Chrisupra, or Chrisupra, I should say. Oh, wow.
Another tight battle here.
Yep. And looks like they're not that far removed from the group we were just looking at.
No, they can still see them in the distance.
Yep.
And that's another nice thing about Le Mans. This race are so long, you can actually see a car that's maybe 5, 6, 7 seconds ahead of you. Kind of keeps you going.
Yep. And this is dicey. To me, I don't know how you feel, Christian, but this is the most difficult section of the track for me. It feels high speed, but there's just these, like this turn here is you got to slow down.
It's a very technical part of the track, and you don't want to lose too much speed, but you want to keep on braking. Like, you want to leave the braking for the latest you can, but then you don't want to be braking and turning at the same time. It's very tough to keep the car balanced there.
And you've spent you know, 80% of the laps so far going top speed,
Yeah.
it's against your nature at this point to have to slow down as much as you need to. Yeah.
But it's a part of the track where you can gain or lose multiple seconds.
Absolutely. Yep. Should point out the nice nod to Alan Simonson. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Alan Simonson tragically killed today at the opening laps of the real 24-hour Le Mans. So it's a really nice tribute to him. Our thoughts, of course, go out to the family and friends of Alan and all his team members as well. So it looks like he's opening up some speed here, opening up some distance. F4H Chrisupra. Let's see here. Let's go back to the leaders.
Nice driving here through the unlope curves.
Yep. Let's go back. Let's go in the back and see how Chris is doing in the back. CQR Chris. And now I think he's one of the guys that had some trouble in the beginning of the race. So he's attacking the edges of the track here, but he's got some time to make up. Looks like. So, but like you said, Christian, long race. Don't need to push too hard.
Yep.
Just do your race the track. You never know when the guys ahead of you will make a mistake. Let's take a look at the front here. TPR box still in the lead.
I bet he's opened up a bit of a gap now.
You think? The guy is ridiculously fast. Yep. There's nobody behind him at this point.
Yeah, it'll all be about like keeping his concentration for 2.5 hours, which is not, it's not as easy as putting down that golden one lap.
Unfortunately, we're not able to see his lap times, but I bet they're pretty quick. Do you know what would you consider in these cars
It's hard to say. I haven't tried the upgraded cars.
Okay. Let's see who's behind him. Is Mopar. See if Mopar can actually see him. Yeah, I think he's over the hill.
We've already driven 30 miles in 15 minutes. The lap is 8 miles.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I think that's way up in the distances box. And even Mopar's
second place is already settled in, yeah.
Yeah, he's opened up some room against Bob Dixon. So we might have, you know, at the end of 2.5 hours, we may have some laps, some lapped drivers. You never know.
Yeah, getting lapped by 1 lap over the course of 2.5 hours, it really doesn't take much.
Yeah, on
it's
a
really
track this long.
Tenths in every corner.
Yeah, yeah.
These guys will have covered around 300 miles by the end of the race.
Wow. Ferrari 330s in first and second place. This is the leading GT40, driven by Bob Dixon. Let's see who he's got behind him. Again.
So the 3 cars in front of him are all Ferraris?
Yes. You can see Mopar up ahead, but he is, 5-6 seconds ahead at this point. Let's head back to Siphon 68, see how he's doing in 6th place. Oh, a little dicing between Formula Forza team members here. Keep it clean, guys.
That's fun to watch. So
this is Siphon and Bulin Wall. Really getting aggressive here in the corners. They don't have anybody around them, so this is just a battle for position here. But it looks like Siphon conceded a place in a few seconds here, at least 1 or 2 seconds. You know what? Oh, did I switch? This turn right here. So slow, so agonizingly slow.
You're trying to make it as much of a straight as you can, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of those tight chicanes. They kind of break up the flow of the lap. They feel a little bit artificial.
They feel just like the chicanes in general, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're put there for safety, but
yeah.
when you're playing them in a video game, you don't care about safety. You just want to go.
No, there are no spectators to hurt.
Right.
The stick figures.
This is number 76 car, Bulin wall, and he's opening up a gap from Siphon 68.
You guys are really pushing those cars. You can see it just sliding around just enough to actually get it to turn, but not scrub off too much speed. Ooh.
Now this is a paint job right here. You spin around that?
That's an interesting choice of color for a Ferrari.
Look, it's got like that cracked thing happening.
Yeah.
Cracked. It's nice. Yeah, you wouldn't think blue and white for a Ferrari, but I think it looks nice.
You're racing the blue oval and a blue Ferrari.
Yeah. This is LMR Midnight R doing his thing down the Mulsanne straight.
Very nice lines there. Using all of the track.
Yep. He's got a Ferrari breathing down his neck. The Ferrari of F4H Bulin, who we were watching earlier.
Let's get on board with him.
All right, let's check him out. See if he can put some pressure on LMR Midnight. This is the spot to do it. You know, you can, if you're crafty with your braking here, you can dive inside. Yeah, you see some of that. Looks like Midnight went a little.
That's a big mistake.
A little optimistic, yeah. Look at that, he's just using the whole track. I love it. I love it. Yeah. It's so frustrating when you can see the car ahead of you. You know, you're not that far away, but you just can't make up the time.
It's all about patience. You're not going to make up 3 seconds in one corner, especially with, you know, with drivers of that caliber driving. So it just, you chip at it, half a second at a time, a tenth at a time, whatever you can get. But you can see both drivers making mistakes, both drivers under pressure.
Yep. And he's got somebody behind him too, so we're 20 minutes in, gone about 39 miles.
I think he's made up some time there.
Yep.
It's always hard to say because, you know, even if you're a constant 1 second away from the car ahead of you, the distance will change with the speed you're going.
Yeah, and especially in those corners, those tight corners, you look like you're closer than you actually are.
And then you're back on the straight and it opens up again.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it looks like he made some actual genuine time advantage here through those last set of corners.
This is that section that gets just so tricky.
See very different lines here.
Yeah, Midnight's way on the outside, and Bullet is just hugging the inside of these corners.
And what makes those corners extra tricky is the change in camber. They're not exactly flat, and so you want to ride that camber and make it help you. And being just that little bit off puts you off camber, and you lose a lot of grip.
I mean, it looks like he's making up some ground here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just what, a 1.5, 2 second gap right now?
Yeah, something like that. A little hop from LMR there. Oh.
Those cars don't like those sleeping policemen, is what they call them.
Sleeping policemen?
That's what the British call them.
Oh, really?
I don't know what they're called in the US, but...
Wait, shouldn't they be called, what are they called? They don't call them policemen, they call them, I forget. I thought there was a name for, British called the police something different there. I might be wrong. Dunlops. This is
look at that.
That was pretty. This is probably the best race happening in the field right now. But let's see what's going on back with LMR Johnny. Bobbies, yes. Dead Bobby, that's what they're called. Hav is on Hav is
Bobby
doing excellent work behind the board there, giving us British slang terms. Well done. This is LMR Johnny. He's got Alex P behind him.
And he seems to be perfectly in the middle.
Oh, I switched over to Alex P. Sorry about that. Alex P's, yeah, looking a little loose there. Getting a little aggressive on the gas, it seems.
And that's just probably different driving styles.
Yeah.
I mean, different drivers will kind of extract the most performance out of the car in slightly different ways. Some will have, you know, what they call faster hands, and some will have slower hands.
What about people with slow hands and slow feet, slow reaction times, like me? Is there
Slow
any
people.
hope? Slow people, just slow minds. Yeah. That's where I fall in. But it really, I mean, it's just, you know, you open up a gap. We were talking earlier about if you can stay close to a car at Le Mans, especially here on the Mulsanne, you have a chance to get around them. But boy, it's really frustrating when you've got this kind of gap between you and another car, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
It's down to a matter of power with your car.
And it's patience. You just drive your race, drive your line. Don't push. You know, don't take 10% chances because it'll bite you at some point. Over a 2.5-hour race, it'll bite you. So you want to be just as fast as you can be while also being steady and consistent.
Well, Alex P looks to be doing like a good job. He's got nobody behind him. I think Chris is still in the back.
He's getting a little bit closer. He gained a little bit of time there.
He might be. Let's stick with him for a moment and see if he can make up some time here. This is awful. This is awful deceiving here. This chicane is so deceiving. You're like, I got him. There he goes.
I just love this corner because you put somebody who hasn't driven the track as much, or maybe it's his first time.
Yep.
And they don't have a lot of experience on the track, and they way overbrake for that corner. They start braking way earlier than they should.
Well, you know, the first thing you do when you get a Forza Motorsport is you drive the Mulsanne straight and you crash. You crash as hard as you can at the end of the straight, just to get it out of your system, right? You just don't really get that many opportunities to test top speed.
He almost lost it there.
Yeah,
he's still made up some time. Now he's feeling the pressure. The car in front of him.
Yeah, and you can see that that Alex is getting aggressive because he feels like he needs to, and Johnny is kind of defending right now.
Yeah, now he can see him in the mirrors. Now he knows he's coming for him.
Yep.
Excellent line there.
Yep, well done. He's
right on that.
He might get him. He might get him. And you know, there's a car up ahead of Johnny. BG Wumba both of these guys are tracking him down.
And they both can see him, yeah.
Yeah, they both can see him. So, like you said, these guys are patient. They know what they're doing. They know that the race is. We still got 2 hours and 5 minutes left in this race.
See, again, lots of pressure, missing that apex.
Yep.
That doesn't help.
That's the thing. It's like when you got somebody behind you, I don't know about you, but I fall apart. I'd rather be in last place. So I got nobody behind me except the guy's going to lap me.
It depends on who's behind you, too.
I crumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It does. It does.
I don't know how much experience those guys have racing with each other, but kind of knowing who's behind you, knowing who's ahead of you, it helps in a way, and it also kind of makes you more nervous if you know that's somebody who's usually a little bit quicker than you are.
This is great stuff. Look how he dove in the inside, protecting that line. Oh, no, he got around him. Do you think he just let him there? Think he let him around him?
I don't know. He seemed to break way early.
Yeah, I thought he was going to defend the inside there. But it looks like he almost just let him go around him. So interesting.
Oh, look at that gap already.
Yeah, that might have just been a mental lapse. So Alex made up a place there. Well done. And now we've got Elimar Johnny in 14th place. So
he's reeling him in.
Yep. And now Alex has got BG Wumba in his sights. And we'll see what happens here. BG Wumba probably may not be paying attention to the action. He's probably obviously not paying attention to what's going on behind him. And now all of a sudden he's got this guy in his rearview mirrors.
That red Ferrari will show up.
Yep. And ahead of BG is Chrisupra. So, you know, these guys are working back into the top 10 if they can keep this going. I don't think Alex he's certainly not close enough to make use of any draft here, but
no, not yet.
If he can get aggressive, just aggressive enough in those chicanes with the braking.
He's consistent, he's steady, and he makes it look easy, and that's the sign of a fast driver.
Well, why don't we take a look and see what BG's doing, and we can get an idea of maybe if Alex is going to get him or if he's going to stay cool under pressure. Here he is in the first chicane. Seems like he's a little tentative on the gas there.
See, that's a big mistake.
Yeah.
Here. Those corner exit mistakes cost you the most,
Yep.
because that's a huge straight to lose down all that speed.
And look at that, Alex is
And
right
it's just
behind him.
coming. There's nothing you can do at this
Yep.
point. You just put to the floor, and you're kind of hoping and praying he doesn't make it by before the next corner.
He's coming. I don't think you'll see much in the way of blocking maneuvers from these guys, especially in a long race. But if it was me, I would be looking to intentionally crash everyone. That was pretty good, you know.
He kept it together, and it looks like he might have a slightly quicker car in a straight line than the car behind him, because he's gaining. You can see like the distance closing up here. I don't know if he's going to make it, but that happened on the last straight, and then BG just kind of...
Here comes Alex. Yeah, they're side by side. This could be just a test of bravery here from the braking. Oh, wow, wow.
Very good.
He gave it back to him. Alex gave it back to him.
Everybody leaving room for each other.
Yeah, well done. BG kept the place for now, but another long straight coming up, another fast section of the track. And we are approaching the 30-minute mark for the 2013 Forza Le Mans Challenge. Everybody in the chat, hope you guys are enjoying the race. Look, a little getting offline there.
That costs.
What's going on there? He's going to get him, yeah. Wow, just a big mistake there from BG Wumba.
Grip there.
Yep, allows. Oh, but Alex, I think he got excited. So I got the pass. But BG's going to fight back. Wumba's going to fight back here.
So now he's got the position. Now is just a good time to put your head down and do your thing.
So yeah, I mean that's a great point. You just got past, hard fought. What do you need to do here? You just need to
focus on what's ahead. Don't look in your mirrors. You know you were a little bit quicker.
Yep. At some point you were the quicker guy, so you just need to get back in that mindset.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. It's obviously working.
Yep. Well, Alex has made up 2 spots here in the last 5 or 10 minutes, so good job to him. But the gap.
He's not running away.
No, he's not running away, and the gap between Alex and Chrisupra. I think they're following each other there. They both went off.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at Chrisupra, who's ahead of both of these guys, and see if we can get an idea of where of how far ahead he is. Oh, he's got a heck of a race going up here. This is Chrisupra in the Ferrari, who's just behind Elamar Midnight, who we were looking at earlier, who's just behind Bullet, yeah. So Alex P is chasing Chrisupra right now, but is not really within striking distance, as you guys can see. It looks like they're just crossing the start-finish line now, behind this car of Chrisupra. So nice little race here, going between 9th, 10th, and 11th place. But wow, Bullet just got really wide at the Dunlop curves there. Let's see if we can take a look at what he's doing. He's got 2 cars right on him, and we are approaching an area where both these guys can make a move if they get close enough.
And 2 of those 3 guys are teammates. They're obviously both with F4H. So they know how each other races. They've probably raced together.
Get some tandem drifting going, NASCAR style.
I don't think those guys do a lot of drifting. That's the quickest way around the track.
Yeah, they're probably just focused on speed.
Looks like
look at that.
The Ford GT and the Ferrari right behind are very close together. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's a blue Ferrari. It's not a Ford.
Yeah.
See, that's why you don't paint a Ferrari blue.
That's right.
People think it's a Ford.
We get confused. We're easily confused by things like colors. All right, let's. We can look at his telemetry if we want. Not a lot going on telemetry-wise on the straights.
Speed.
Yeah. Press the gas.
Yeah, it's actually interesting if we can check out slightly different cars and see if you can look at the power numbers here and see if they're tuned differently.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see what this guy's top speed is at the end of this. When we hit the hairpin.
So it looks like this Ferrari is making a little over 440 horsepower, which is plenty for this car.
He's not letting those guys near him. So we're, looking 150, 152 miles an hour, something like that.
Very hard on the brakes. Very nice on the brakes there. early on the gas. You can see his gas inputs on the left.
Yep.
And that's really what it takes to win here at Le Mans, just being as early as you can be on the gas for that long straight.
Yeah, when it's all about speed, you want to get on it as soon as you can. All right, let's go back to the race happening behind these guys, behind Bulin, because that seems to be a lot of action. We'll go back to Chrisupra because there's a lot.
There we go.
These guys are really fighting it out for that 10th place spot. 2 Ferraris. Look at that. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Now, these guys are teammates, right? F4H? No.
No, that's LMR Midnight in front of him. And that was just a small tap. It didn't really affect him too much. It wasn't intentional. He was just... You're following somebody that close, and you're never quite sure if you're going to make some time on the braking or not. So you take a slightly alternative line, you brake a little bit later.
Yep.
And if he brakes just that much earlier, you get that little tap on the back.
And look at that really wide line. We've seen a lot of that from LMR Midnight. It seems like
it's very, very hard to get the car on the line you want.
Oh, look at that! Oh, he just went off.
Just a little bit.
Absolutely, just went off the track. He's still off the track behind him.
Sticky grass is sticky.
Yeah, sticky grass is sticky. You're absolutely right. That's going to cost LMR, but you know he'll fight back. So. Supra finds himself in 10th place. Good for him.
With a very good chance to get a bullet too.
Yep, and he's.
But as you saw there, those 2 guys were right about the same speed. They were running the same lap times, and it just came down to who kind of blinked earlier.
Yep, yep. This is Siphon68, kind of all alone right now. Nobody ahead of him. Well, he does have someone ahead of him, but not in view. Bob Dixon is actually ahead of him, and that tandem of Supra and Bulin fighting it out behind him. So he's in a pretty good spot right now. I wonder though, with no one ahead of him, if that's the kind of thing that you sort of slow down.
No, I mean, again, it depends.
Because you don't have a goal ahead of you. You know what I mean?
I think most of these guys are pretty good at just running their pace and doing their thing. For me, if I'm in a race, I'm in that kind of, no man's land in the middle. It's not a bad thing. You're now in sort of a hot lapping session. You get in the rhythm, you get into the groove, and soon enough you'll see somebody either ahead of you or behind you.
There's pluses and minuses, I think. The plus is you don't have that car ahead of you that you could potentially lose your concentration and make the same mistake. I think the potential negative is that you might get complacent with your pace. Yeah.
But I think if you use it well, it's a good chance to just focus on your brake markers, your reference points, your apexes, hit those, and the speed is going to come after that.
So if you have the option, would you rather have someone ahead of you, or would you rather have clear track?
I'd rather have clear track, I think. Following somebody, I mean, you close the distance and you get close enough. Following somebody at such a close distance is a very hard thing to do. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty, and you sometimes have to take alternative lines, and they're not the quickest way around the track.
Right.
But if you just have the kind of mental fortitude of just being able to put down 20 laps in a row that are good enough pace, then I think you'd prefer having clear track and just do your own thing.
Okay. I say we let's go check on the leader again and maybe look at some of his telemetry, see what he's doing. Why is TPR box so friggin' fast?
Yeah, that's. I don't think that's a question we'll answer in 2.5 hours.
This is your leader, TPR box, and wow, I don't see anyone behind him. So let's take a look at some of his telemetry. Just handles these like
right away. You
S-curves.
can see the car placement on the track. I mean, he's pounding those curves, but he's not getting into the grass like we saw some other guys doing. Kind of patient where he needs to be.
But even through this slow section, it just seems like he's getting the maximum amount of speed through the curve. He's not even on the gas, He's just sort of gliding at top speed through these.
This is very impressive car placement right there. You see, he didn't touch those sleeping policemen or bobbies or whatever we're calling them today. But still, using all of the track, putting the wheel on the curb every time.
And he's getting 453 horsepower out of this car. And I think
So
we
it
said
seemed
that.
a little different.
Yeah, I think we were seeing about 440 out of that Ferrari.
It was 440.
Yeah.
Yeah, 441. Again, those chicanes, very easy to overslow for them.
And he's in second gear there, so he's in a relatively low gear, but he's just feathering the gas. He's just got a touch. He's just got the touch.
And you can see he's consistent. I mean, I don't think we've seen him miss an apex yet.
A little light braking there, going and heading into the Mulsanne straight.
Yeah, he's definitely in the groove right now. He's in the rhythm. He's just knocking out those laps.
Let's see what he hits. He's already at 170 miles an hour. So, this obviously is 180. He's approaching. I don't think he'll get to 200, but, well, maybe he will.
Close. Yeah, I think
Almost.
I saw 200.
He might have blipped it, yeah. And just handles this chicane with so much ease, makes it look easy.
Nice and steady on the brakes, if you notice. And again, on the gas, you can see once he gets on the gas, there's no backing out of it. He just keeps on adding more gas and until he gets to full throttle.
Yep, which is such a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
It's, especially in an older car like this, it just seems like, I just know how I drive, and I'm constantly tapping out of a corner, just trying to right the car. Not too much braking. He's not too heavy with those brakes.
No, but if you look at the grip on the tires, he's using up pretty much all of the grip on his front tires. Any more than that, and he'll log those brakes, those tires, and he knows that. Again, it's just very, very consistent. That's what matters in such a long race. That's how you open up that big gap. It's just by being consistently, maybe you're only half a second ahead of the other guy, but if you're half a second a lap, it adds up over 2.5 hours.
Absolutely. And Mopar's in second place. We'll go back there and see if he's got any pressure on either side of him. Obviously, he's still got TPR Box to track down. And TPR Box just hit the chicane, and we're going uphill right now.
Yeah, I think if we look at the distance, we can get an idea of how far they are apart.
I mean,
I
we're
think
talking 20 seconds.
Miles.
I'm just thinking in terms of seconds. He's probably 15 to 20 seconds behind him.
Yeah, probably more.
And even Mopar's got nobody around him. So these are two just world-class Forza drivers putting on a show here for you guys.
And even when you're 30 seconds behind, you never give up. I mean, 30 seconds is just one big off in one of the chicanes, you lose that much.
Yeah, he spins the car, and it's a whole new race. Third place right now is the Bulin Wall. We'll go back and check with him, see how he's doing. The first GT40, Formula Forza guy, number 76 car. And he's got somebody behind him. He's got Bob Dixon behind him, but Bob Dixon's probably 5 or 6 seconds behind him.
Let's see how fast those Fords go on the straights. I mean, this is not the long straight. But
He was hitting 170 there.
Anybody hits that 197 that we saw, 198 that we saw Robin do.
I was pleased when we were setting up this race and we decided to go with the old cars. We're doing it mainly just for thematic reasons, but these cars are, it's nice to see these really elite guys splitting down the middle with car choice. Both of these cars are well suited against each other, as they were in real life.
And they're very fun cars to throw around.
Right.
They don't have a ton of grip, and they have a lot of power for the amount of weight they have, but they also have longer gears usually. And so that kind of helps putting the power down. You can see first gear in this car right now. He's over 75 miles an hour and he's still in first gear.
Yep. And I know that TPR was taking the Dunlop curves up ahead in second gear, so it'll be interesting to see if...
Yeah, he might have... I wonder if he tuned it a little bit differently to get just a little bit out of that start with a shorter first gear, and then make the second gear as the usable gear that you use in the
Could be, yeah. Could be. He's in first, so a little bit different approach. But, you know,
and the
both
Ford
work.
is running a lot of power. This car is running about 500 horsepower.
Yep.
So let's see what it gets on the straight.
I think Le Mans is a bit maligned in Forza circles because it is such a power track, and people think that, you know, it's just simply down to get the fastest car, tune it up. But I think this shows that there is some subtlety to this track that you have to, and you can take different approaches to the cars and still be successful.
Yeah, outside of the straights, the chicanes are very technical. The curves are just, some of the corners are very, very technical, and they kind of flow well together. So if you just get it wrong in the first corner, and instead of 4 or 5, it's very hard to get it back on the line.
He topped out at 198 there, so maybe a 1 mile per hour slower than TPR, but not a huge difference here, you know.
But it's also interesting that he's getting up to the same top speed with a bit more power. He's got about 50 horsepower maybe on Ferrari, and yet he's not getting that much more speed out of it on the straight.
Right. Is it a heavier car, just a different tune, or?
I mean, it all depends on your exit speed too. If your exit speed is that much lower, you'll make it up on the straight, but you can only make up so much.
Right, right.
That extra 1 mile an hour takes much harder to get. And very long gears on that Ford too. You can see that first gear goes up to 90 miles an hour in that car, and I think he shifted into third at 125 or 130.
He's built this, you know, for these straights.
Yeah, I'm wondering what kind of gearbox he's using. Good discipline here.
He's got, you know, he's got him. He's got the second place car, Mopar, in his sights. He's just, he's being patient. Hour and 45 minutes left in this race.
We're not even halfway through yet.
We've said it a million times, but anything can happen, even with guys of this caliber.
Let's see if there are any packs towards the back.
Sure. Why don't you take over for a while? I want to talk a little bit about these guys themselves, because they were nice enough to send us some bio information for some of them. As we mentioned at the top of the show, we've got racers from 3 different Forza teams here. We've got the guys from the Online Racing Association, otherwise known as TORA. We've got the guys from Virtual Motorsport, and some representatives from Formula Forza, all racing here today. And we've got TPR Box, who's currently unaffiliated, but I'm sure highly recruited. So our current leader is TPR Box, and you guys might remember last year or the year before, when Forza 4 came out, we did King of the Track, a program where you could race against celebrities like Juan Pablo Montoya and CJ Wilson, the Major League Baseball pitcher, and Rampage Jackson. Remember that? That was awesome. TPR Box, I think, won every one of those. And so it got to the point where we were just, these were good prizes, and we were sending him a prize every month. So we had to change the rules.
Your monthly Forza shipment has arrived.
Exactly. We had to literally change the rules of King of the Track, or contest in general, because we were like, no, we can't have one guy winning it all the time.
Robin is...
he's ridiculous.
He's impressive, because even...
Whoa, what happened here? Oh, classic lack of concentration.
I wonder if we lost the connection to him.
Could be. Boy, that's too bad if that's what happened.
Oh, I think that might have... Did he just drop out, or...
That's got to be what it was.
Yeah, because he just lost control of the car, huh?
Wow,
that'd be a shame. He was in the middle of a really good fight.
Yep. That's too bad.
Yeah, I think we've lost Chris.
That danged internet. I don't trust it. I don't trust that internet.
Can't live without it.
No. So, yeah, TPR is to the point where we had to change the rules of Forza Contest because we just could. We had to stop sending him, and as much as we love him.
Even the top guys, you know, when you're on your best lap, you always know there's that little bit of time left. You know that you've left maybe half a second out on the track. You know that if you get it all together, because you never really run that perfect lap, but Robin is just one of those guys where you run your best lap ever and you think you have maybe, okay, half a second to go, and then he pulls out 2 seconds out of nowhere. It's very interesting to watch and figure out how he does it. And he's also interested in games. I think he's studying to try and be a game developer.
Oh, right on. Right on. Yeah, you've been in contact with him,
yeah,
right? That's awesome.
I keep in touch with Robin. He's a good guy.
He's in Germany, I believe, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's German.
Cool. Well, and then in second place is Mopar, I believe.
Second place right now. Yep.
Yep. Mopar won. That is Brian Dunnigan. He's a local guy. Kent, Washington.
He is.
Yeah.
That's where our local racetrack is too. Pacific Raceway is in Kent, Washington.
Love that
about
track.
25 minutes away. Yeah.
That's like privately. That's like I want that track in Forza. Wouldn't that be fun to race in Forza?
It would be a lot of fun. It would be a lot of use for somebody like me. You know, it would be awesome to get some practice on that track before you drive it in real life in Forza. Yeah, it's a fun track.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know, it's got everything you could ever want. It's got elevation changes. Got a great straight where you can get a lot of speed.
Yeah. Low speed corners, high speed corners.
Yep.
A good straight, good speed. Some of the Porsches probably get up to 145 miles an hour on the straight there. Maybe more.
I was surprised when we went out there for the SRT track day thing. Mm-hmm. Did you go to that?
I did not make it to that, no.
Well, SRT invited us out and got a chance to drive some of the SRT, like the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT8. Ridiculous car, so fun. But to drive, that was the first time I'd ever been out there. Mm-hmm. What a great track, loved it. Yeah. So much fun. So yeah, Brian Dunnigan from Kent, Washington. He's been playing Forza since the original, but only started... yeah, absolutely. He's old like I am. But only started racing online competitively near the end of Forza 3. So that's when he really got serious. He's part of the Virtual Motorsports organization, but he's also raced with TORA, Forza Le Mans, and numerous racing series found on the official Forza forums. He says here he's been lucky enough to be part of fantastic racing teams such as All-American Racers and Fight for Her Motorsports. He loves hard and clean racing in any car or class, but his favorite are the GTE class of cars.
Those are very good cars. Yep. They blend of speed and grip.
Yep. And he's making those tires pay in these corners.
He's driving that car hard. I was just looking at that. You can see. I don't know how he's managed to hold it at like 110% of peak grip, but
and still keep the car under control. That's just the kind of skill we're talking about. So he's our only local guy.
Yeah, but there's a lot more guys from the U.S.
Yeah,
just nobody that close.
Yep, nobody that close. Let's see. All right, third place. Who we got in third place, Christian?
Third place right now is
the Bulin Wall.
Looks like it.
Yeah, the game is not necessarily reflecting what it says. Fourth place.
He's not that far off. He's place.
Yeah, he's coming after him. Let's see, Bulin Wall. What do I have on him? That's David Hope in the 76 car. Drives for Formula Forza, of course. He is from Aurora, Illinois, here in the U.S. He says doesn't usually race lower class cars. I assume that he's referring to these A-class cars.
Those are the lower classes?
Yeah.
I thought you meant F.
Yeah. You know, I'm perfectly happy in E-class cars. That's more my speed. He says, I don't usually race the lower class cars, but I'm willing to take up any sort of challenge. I'm looking forward to great competition between many incredibly fast drivers. Most importantly, he just simply seeks to have fun racing. So that's the right attitude, man.
That's the hope.
Yep. So he's doing well, looking to track down Mopar.
Lost a little bit of time there, it looks like, on the last set of chicanes.
Yeah, I tell you, these chicanes, you just think you're closer than you are. You're like, I got him.
And it's, when you're at the distance away, it's very hard to figure out if you're actually making up time or not, and if you're doing something better or not. When you get a little bit closer and you can actually observe the driver in front of you and what they're doing, you can actually start kind of figuring out a plan for overtaking, where you're better, where they're better. But at this distance, it's just a mirage.
And are you looking for, are they sticking to the inside, outside, where they're braking? What kind of things are you looking for?
It depends. I mean, if you have experience with the racer you're trying to overtake, you will kind of have this mental picture of how good they are at different parts of the track. Everybody has their own quirks, no matter how fast they are. If somebody, you know, you always brake for that corner just a little bit earlier, or you take that weird line through some corner. And so if you have that experience, it helps. If you don't, then you just kind of hang around and observe and try to figure out where your advantage is and how to use it best to overtake.
So for those of you watching the Forza Le Mans Challenge, I want to give you, we are also paying attention to the real race. Some of you probably have both on at the same time, I would imagine. But just so you're aware, in the real 24-hour Le Mans happening right now, it is nighttime. I'm actually looking at a feed right now. It is pitch black, and we're looking at these, looks like the Audis just driving in absolute darkness. Right now, the Audi of Christensen, Tom Christensen, I believe his name is currently in first place, followed by Toyota Racing of Nakajima and Stefan Sarrazin, friend of Forza.
Friend of Forza, yeah.
Toyota Racing.
Good chance to race with him in Forza. And in karts, actually.
Oh, no kidding.
I went karting with Stefan Sarrazin.
That must have been awesome.
It was a good schooling, yes.
You schooled him, huh?
No.
No? It wasn't like that?
It was obviously a day. It was
well, tell the story. He came here, right?
He came over to visit us. I think it was before we shipped Forza 4. So he got to play the game a little bit early. Took the Peugeot 908s, that's what he was driving at the time, and we took them out on Le Mans. It was, back then it was new to the game, I think, and so I didn't have much experience with the track. Yeah. He taught me the line around this track, and then we had a little friendly competition in Forza. You know, all assists off, all the lines off, everything, and just who can run the best time on our awesome hydraulic setup that we take to E3.
Yep.
So I think he was scheduled to do some interviews and videos and stuff, but the competition got so heated that he was just trying to get away with the interviews.
Forget the interviews.
Yeah, and just run some more laps.
Yeah.
So we had an awesome day there, and I think I ended up running about the same time as he did. I can't remember what the lap times were on Le Mans, but he absolutely schooled me on Sebring.
No kidding.
There was just no catching him on Sebring at all. The way he took that last corner was just unbelievable. I would be keeping up with his ghost all the way around the track, and then he would open up like a second on the last corner on Sebring.
He's just got it down, huh?
He does.
Wow. I heard a story about him that he learned how to drive Road Atlanta for a real race from playing Forza.
I think it was fairly recently that he had to drive it for the first time, and yeah, he did mention that he took a lot of practice laps in Forza, and it helps. And it was also interesting because as we were running the car, we were tuning it and kind of changing it just a little bit. We're not adding parts, we're not adding power tires or anything like that, but it was the R1 908, so there's not a whole lot to tune there anyway, but you can mess with the diff, you can mess with the suspension settings, and it was very interesting. We drive the car and we kind of exchange observations about the car, and then he was using his real life experience to kind of change the tuning on the car to match what he wants it to do, and it was very interesting because he would say, okay, the car is a little bit tight on the corner entry, we should open up the lock a little bit, or open up the diff just a little bit, or kind of maybe tighten it up for the exit. And this was all stuff that he didn't learn through, you know, Forza. He didn't learn from tuning in Forza. He didn't go to the forums and kind of figure things out from there. He learned it from real life experience, and he just applied it in Forza, and it worked.
Wow. Well, we've got a heck of a battle going on here. Look, what place are we at here? This is the battle for fourth place, right? Third or fourth place. This is Bulin Wall and Mopar, I think.
Yeah, I think he's either in fourth or third.
The winner here gets to be schooled by TPR Box. But this is pretty awesome. They are really fighting hard.
Two different cars.
And this is the classic, you know, GT40 Ferrari battle here.
And this is the kind of distance that you want to be when you're trying to observe the driver in front of you.
Yep.
You're close enough to kind of see what they're doing and react to it, but not lose too much speed. You get a little bit closer than that, and it becomes very hard to drive your line. And further away than that, you kind of can't really see what they're doing.
And so you can't take advantage of the draft.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Big mistake. Big mistake there. Yep. That braking point on that hairpin, it is crucial. And Bulin just took advantage of it.
And he didn't follow him off into.
No, he's racing his own race. It's great stuff. Great stuff. While we are watching this, I want to let you guys know everything else we've got going for Le Mans weekend, because it's a ton of stuff. In addition to the live challenge that we're doing right now, everybody can go play 2 Rivals events that we've got going. One starring the GT40 and one starring the Ferrari 330. You can play these Rivals Modes events. They're both on Le Mans, so even though you're not in the race here, you can actually go drive these cars in Le Mans and compare your times to your friends. 2 Rivals Modes events. We've also got 2 lobbies going. We've got a multi-class lobby at Le Mans called the 2.4 Hours of Le Mans. We bring it back from last year. It was really popular. So you can go race that. And once again, we have brought back the 360 lap challenge of Le Mans. So you can actually run a 24-hour race.
That's tough.
In Le Mans. 360.
Maybe you can.
No, I can't. I fall asleep just thinking about it. But it's 360 laps of Le Mans. And the car of your choice. Baby Fred kept it to R1 or whatever the case may be.
What would you choose?
I would choose the fastest car in the game so I could get it over in the least amount of time. But here's the kicker. Just like last year, if you complete all 360 of 360 laps, which is about 24 hours, you take a picture of your screen, you send us that picture to ForzaFB at Microsoft.com, and we have to see your gamer tag, we have to see exactly the image of 360 of 360, and we will send you every unicorn car in Forza Motorsport 4.
All of them?
All of them.
All of them.
I'll send you all of them in Forza Horizon if you want them. That's fine.
Maybe I should do that. I don't think I have all of them yet.
You don't have all the unicorns?
I don't think so.
You can send us an email.
I play fair.
We don't. So yeah, if you guys that will be open until Monday. So you've still got a day and a half to get it done. Just like last year, we had a surprising amount of people do it last year. Send us pictures of them doing it. We also had a surprising amount of people try to cheat us. We know when you're cheating us. Photoshopping and that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you complete all 360 laps, send the picture to us at ForzaFB at Microsoft.com, and you will get yourself every unicorn car in Forza Motorsport 4. Good luck to everybody who's doing that. I hope you guys have fun. So who are we looking at now, Christian?
We're looking at Bob Dixon, and I think he's got somebody within his sights.
Okay.
He's got 5th place, or maybe 4th place, the Bulin Wall.
Bob Dixon, real name Warren Dixon. He's from Eastbourne, England, in the UK. England is in the UK.
I did not expect Bob in the UK.
Yep. Let's see. He says he's been playing Forza since Forza 2, and he says he still remembers the first online race he had. He says, I couldn't believe the speed that these guys were driving. I was in awe, and I wanted to find out how they got so fast. I now mainly drive R2 class, but will go out of my comfort zone if there's an event on Virtual Motorsports. My best achievement on Forza to date is finishing 2nd in the Virtual Motorsports 2-hour endurance race with no assists.
So he's got experience with endurance racing.
Yep. Well done. That's good stuff. And currently he is holding it down in 3rd or 4th place here.
Yeah, I think he opened up that gap since the last time we looked at it.
Yep.
Much slower on the straights than the other cars that we looked at.
Yep.
It looks like he's making it all up in the corners. He's about 10 miles an hour short by the end of the straight, but that's very good driving.
Yep. In a 2.5-hour race, I think I would hit those chicanes like that once. Be like, wow, that was really good, and then I'd crash.
And
on
that's
the straight.
The difference between hot lapping and racing.
Yeah, absolutely. It is in a lot of senses, it's an entirely different skill.
Yeah.
Using the same mechanics, but it's a different mindset.
And you kind of build up to it. So, you had that one golden lap once. Now it's time to kind of figure out how he did it and be able to do it on demand over and over and over again. And there's another skill there too, which is, you know that you're in a 2.5-hour race. You're not trying to run every lap as a qualification lap or your best lap. You're trying to run a pace that's quick enough and comfortable enough that you minimize the mistakes you make. Because it doesn't really matter if you go for that extra final 1/10 of a second, and then you lose half a second on a mistake that you made while trying to get there. very clean driving.
Yep. Braking pretty hard there.
And this is a very interesting corner.
Look how quick
Very
he's
important
back
corner,
on the
yeah.
gas there.
Yeah.
Wow. Apex, he's back on the gas.
If you're not starting to get back on the gas by the apex,
Yep.
you're not doing it right.
Yep. Yep. So true. It's so true. It's also so much easier said than done for a lot of people. Get about 480 horsepower out of this car.
No, we don't get cockpit view. Spectating.
No, I think you can. No? Okay.
No.
Here's a hood view.
This is my favorite camera, actually. This is what I drive in. I drive with a wheel.
Okay.
And it feels like what I would see out of a rear car. That apex a little bit there, you can see, but still, another thing you want to do is you don't want to fight the car too hard. You don't want to make a small mistake into a bigger one.
I think, in theory, I like this view the most. In practice, I am a cockpit guy, and I don't know why, because I think it's just because that's what I've gotten used to.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, especially in like an R1 or R2 car, you can barely see out of cockpit mode. You know, your field of vision is so small.
It gets very tough.
And there's so much distraction of the interior of the car. But in a lower class car like a typically CB or A class, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely appreciate this view. It's just not what I use because I've just conditioned myself to use cockpit.
And this view gets a little bit harder to use when you're following somebody close enough because the camera is so low that it's very easy for somebody to come in and block your view of the track if he's close enough in front of you. And so it gets a little bit challenging there, but I think it's still worth it overall.
Yeah. I mean, you can't beat it for, unless you go to the straight full screen view, you can't beat it for visibility. I've talked about it before on these live streams, but on the blog. But what's interesting to me is what my personality, like I'm totally a split personality when it becomes between Forza 4 and Horizon. When I'm in Forza 4, I'm in cockpit mode. I can't drive cockpit mode in Horizon. I got to be behind the car, and it's just completely different.
Interesting.
I don't know why it is. Maybe it's because I want to see the environment, or I want to see the road ahead of me, because it's like I know what Le Mans is going to do next.
Right, and there's the extra element of traffic in Horizon.
Right. It's just interesting how your brain can switch between games. Who are we looking at here?
We're looking at Alex P.
We saw
I don't think we've talked about him.
Well, remember he made up some positions earlier in the race. I think he took over Midnight and a couple of other guys. Looks like he's got clear road ahead of him right now. Is anybody behind him?
It doesn't seem to be that way. It looks like everybody kind of settled into their pace and got out on track. Looks like he's running a similar looking build to Robbins. The front, about 450 horsepower or so.
Alex P is from Leeds, England. He says he's been playing Forza since Forza 3, so relative newcomer.
Nope.
And only started competitive racing last year for Formula Forza. And his favorite car is the Pagani Zonda 760.
That just makes me feel bad for playing Forza ever since Forza 2. Barely being able to keep in touch with those guys.
Yeah, this guy's been doing it for about a year, and he's already really good. Where do you think, obviously, there's a matter of practice time and having free time to practice, but you think it's a matter of talent, or do you think it's hard work, or both, or what's your position on that?
I've been back and forth on that. I think it's mostly an attitude. Some people get online and they see how much faster everybody else is, and they just give up. And if you do that, you're obviously not going to get any faster. But some people just keep at it, persevere, and try to break it down into, okay, what makes those guys so fast? How do they do it? And if they can do it, then I should be able to do it too.
And it's amazing when you think about it. Forza gives you a lot of tools to figure out why somebody's fast.
It does. This telemetry view is your friend. I can't count how many times I've looked at replays of somebody who's faster than me on leaderboards and kind of tried to figure it out. Nail down that tricky corner that I never figured out. I get to play the game before we ship it, and I run some decent looking times, but then the game goes out. and you see people that are, you know, found 2 or 3 seconds a lap
Yep.
more than you did.
Where
at
the
that
heck do
point,
they find it?
You
Yeah.
just learn. You just look at the replays. You kind of try to follow them on the track, and you see what's going on.
Yeah, it's amazing how set you get in your own lap. You know what I mean? It's like, and you might not have even considered that you could cut this corner a little bit more, or you can do something different. You just sort of get set in your ways, and it's really refreshing to watch somebody else race and try to analyze what they're doing.
Over braking for a corner, or just maybe even a corner that you didn't quite think you could make flat. That you see somebody else do it flat, and that's it. It clicks. You just figure out, okay, well, I can just stop braking here.
It can be done.
Yeah.
And of course,
knowing that it can be done, that's what you need to actually go ahead and do it.
And there's also the tune. The tune can make a huge bit of difference in terms of how you attack a course.
It can, which is I highly recommend, you know, running a spec series or one of our spec challenges when you're trying to learn how to drive, because you know the car is the same.
Yeah.
It's the same stock car that everybody's driving, and so if you watch somebody do something that you never figured out how to do, you know that the car can do it.
Yeah.
And you can just go ahead and keep learning.
Yeah.
Get it.
Just convince yourself that it can be done. You got to do it. It's all car control, or get on the brakes. Oh well, he's got somebody behind him.
Battle here.
Yep.
So we're looking at BG Wumba right now in 10th place, and he's being chased by, did he go to the pits?
Somebody might have pitted, yeah. Oh yeah, he's going in. That's his voluntary pit.
I think that might be a very smart thing to do. He's kind of...
Get himself a break?
Yeah, overtake him in the pits, right?
Yep.
Get that clear track back again, and then go run down his best laps and not have to overtake him on the track, and maybe by the time Wumba pits, he'll come out ahead.
Now, remind me, is he going to come out with cold tires again?
I believe so.
Okay. Just so you guys know, if you missed it at the top, these guys have agreed to go to, everybody's going to take one pit stop, even though we have cosmetic damage on. I think it's a good idea, because these guys probably need a little bit of a break. It's a 2.5-hour race. Give them a chance to rest their hands a bit, rest their minds a bit, and then hit it once they get back out on the track. So looks like we just saw a voluntary pit stop there. Oh, here's the blue Ferrari.
It's very blue.
Very, very blue.
And he too is being chased by somebody. So this is, we're looking at LMR Midnight.
LMR Midnight is real name Chris Becker. He's from Oklahoma City. And he says he's the co-leader of the Le Mans Rennsport and founder of Midnight Performance Development. He's an avid F1 and WEC ALMS fan. So
I'm going to be enjoying this.
Yeah, this is right up his alley.
He's being chased by LMR Johnny, so that's his teammate over there.
LMR Johnny, also known as Mike Morrow from Orlando, Florida. He's mainly an R1 driver, but check this out. He won Rookie of the Year in his first competitive series. I guess that means Rookie of the Year in Formula Forza or something, maybe?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So he loves endurance racing. So this is, again, right up Mike's alley. That's great. And got a little bit of a battle happening between...
I think we should also mention the URLs. Every one of those guys has a website. So Formula Forza has its website. I believe it's formulaforza.com.
That's right.
And they mentioned that they're already planning a racing series for FM5 on Xbox One.
Whoa.
Which is super exciting.
That's awesome.
One of the racing series they're planning is one with just open wheel cars, open wheel only. So that just sounds amazing. That's
going to be super fun. So yes, formulaforza.com if you guys want to know more about them. A little bit later we'll be going over some of the stuff they've got coming up. But we've also got representatives from Virtual Motorsports, which is www.virtual-motorsports.com. You can check them out. And TORA, the Online Racing Association, which is www.theonlineracingassociation.com.
Don't misspell it.
Do not misspell it, or you will not be allowed in. So yeah, they've got a lot of stuff coming up, so we'll be going over that in a little while. And they've always got races going on. If you guys, a great place to follow what they've got going on is check out Rearview Mirror on ForzaMotorsport.net. That's Ian's column. Every Monday, he catches up what's happening in the real racing world and what's happening with clubs like Formula Forza and TORA and so forth. So it's a great place to check out what's going on with those associations and get involved if you want. I know they all love new members. and they'll even let me race with them, I imagine.
Why would they do that?
I don't know, because they're friendly, not because I'm any good.
And you've mentioned that Ian is at Le Mans this weekend.
That's right.
So we'll probably see his coverage.
Yeah,
Next week.
I hope. Yeah, he's holding it down. We've got like 4 or 5 people there. Ian is there.
I'm not one of them.
No, I'm not either.
I had to be here.
I
skipped it to commentate.
We're at the second best thing next to Le Mans, which is the Forza Le Mans Challenge. No, Ian is there. He's been tweeting pictures, and we just put some pictures up on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Forza Motorsport, from Le Mans that our guys have taken. Dan Greenewalt is there. I think he's talking about Forza Motorsport 5 to some of the press. So people are getting a sneak peek at Forza 5. Those lucky enough to be at Le Mans also get to see Forza 5. It's like an embarrassment of riches.
Seriously?
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're actually showing the game, but Dan's there to talk to the press. And we have like a video presentation going on where Bill, our man Bill Giese, does like a video presentation of Forza 5. So, man, so much cool stuff. We got a Forza Motorsport tent there. Did you see the pictures of the tent?
I did not see the tent.
So we've got a tent at Le Mans in the village, which is where a lot of the promotional stuff happens. All the car companies are there. And so at the village, the Forza Motorsport tent, all decked out black and white, looking really sharp. People can go and play Forza Motorsport 4. They can play Forza Horizon. I think Ian's got some tournaments going, that kind of stuff. This is a really tight race. This is really stacked up.
It's been back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the gap was as wide as 5 seconds, perhaps, just half a lap ago.
Yeah, they're really fighting. Just to finish the thought on the Le Mans, Forza at Le Mans, you can't go 2 miles without seeing Forza signage. We were all over the signage on we got the Forza chicane, we got signage on the side of the track. Forza is representing hardcore Le Mans 2013. So I expect we'll see at least one pass here on the Mulsanne between these two guys. He's close enough he can make the move.
He's very close. He's in a draft there. You can see he's got just a little bit more power, 500 and maybe 5 horsepower. Oh, the Ferrari's getting him on the brakes. He made it, and that was clean.
Yep, he got him.
That was clean.
And
I don't think the Ferrari's giving up anytime soon.
And there's somebody behind the Ferrari too, so this is going to get interesting here for this battle for 10th place.
So this is Johnny in 10th place. He's got LMR Midnight in 11th, right behind him, and BG Wumba in 12th. And it's all very, very close.
And there's BG just roping these guys in. Hoping for a mistake here between these two, hoping for some contact.
He's got the best seat in the house to watch that fight going on.
Yeah, he does. People are in the chat are asking to see TPR again. We'll get to him. We'll show him some more. Look at that, down at the chicane, it is getting tight.
I think we need to watch that fight a little bit closer.
It's clean though. LMR couldn't make it happen, but he's got to reel him in here. Can't let him get away.
Both guys are pretty quick. Yeah, he's not letting him go. That's a very good line there. You can see how much he made up on that just one corner. Coming
into the Porsche curves, I believe. These are...
And the draft will start coming into play here.
Yeah, I don't know if you can you can get a draft, but I don't know if you can take advantage of it here. Well, we've seen a couple people, when the track seems to narrow here, we've seen a couple guys go off. So you never know.
So if we had another casualty, Bullet seems to have been disconnected.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Those guys are still running the same speed. Looks like they're just... LMR Midnight may have been a little bit under pressure when he was ahead. He made a few mistakes.
Yep.
Hit a Johnny by, and he's just now not letting him go.
F4H Bullet, did he drop off, you said?
Mm-hmm.
That's too bad.
Yeah, very
Once again,
quick
once again, the internet strikes again.
But it gives us cats.
It's gonna have plenty of cats.
Can't complain.
For every person that drops out of a Forza race, a lolcat dies. It's not fun.
That's a sad thought. And it looks like the argument's getting pretty heated in the chat right now about the top drivers in Forza. It always does, that argument.
Guys, Nismo G-Truck, these are 15 of the fastest guys in the world. Don't sweat it, man.
There's 15 more that are just as quick. And,
and
another 15 more.
And we want to see them as well. We want to do more of these live streams in the future. We want to have more racers as well. We have some cool ideas that I actually don't want to spill just yet, but we've got some really good ideas for race shows in the future that I think you guys are going to like. So stay tuned. I don't know if he's close enough here.
He's not letting him go. I think it's the same kind of 1 or 2 second gap that's been going on for a couple of laps now.
Yep.
He makes up some and loses some. Yeah, that was a far better line.
That was good. That was much better right there.
He used way more of the track than that Ford GT.
Now he could make something happen here, maybe.
Hoping the same thing right now. This is when you start thinking about the plans for the next corner. Okay, am I going to be able to outbrake him? Am I close enough? Should I try an inside move?
I don't think he's close enough for a dive on the inside here, but you know, it's funny, we talk about these straights being a chance to rest, but at this moment it is not a chance to rest for either of these guys. Oh, look at that. Oh, they followed each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so you can get sucked into the other guy's race. And little contact there. Easy there, Midnight. Plenty of race left. So we got to be approaching the halfway mark at this point, I think. Yeah.
Exactly right. We got 1 hour and 10 minutes to go.
157 miles covered so far.
I think we're going to break the 300-mile mark in this race.
Yeah, seems like it. A little bit of contact between these guys. They're fighting hard, but I've been really impressed. These cars are in great shape, right? I mean, they're not scratched up or anything. Very impressive.
Tail lights and body parts.
Yeah, a little bit of scratch. That's just racing incidents. It's not anything to worry about.
Yeah, it looks like Johnny's under a lot of pressure here. He's making a lot of mistakes in that Ford GT.
Yeah, you wonder if it's a matter of, is he being too conservative or is he trying too hard? You know, you can screw things up either way.
I think once you start seeing somebody in your mirrors, you're more likely to be trying too hard. You don't want to be outbraked. You don't want to give him a chance to, you know, run down your inside. And so this is when you start you don't really pay attention to your brake marker. Yeah.
He just broke late there.
And it's hard to keep your focus on what's happening ahead of you, you know, with the car going that fast, 200 miles an hour into a corner, while at the same time you're keeping one eye on the mirror, trying to figure out where he is and what your plan is for defending. And that's when mistakes happen.
And he is just he's just filling up his rear view mirror, and you can see he's just tapping those brakes a little bit. Man, I feel like I should be melting down right here, and I'm not even racing. I should be withering under this pressure.
This is good stuff. And these are the moments that I remember after the race.
Yep, this is what you talk about.
Those kinds of fights.
Yep,
yeah.
Yep. Coming around the start-finish line here. These guys will start another lap.
You can see how the car we're watching right now, LMR Midnight, he's just placing that car on the corner entries just that much better. He's using that little bit more of the track, and he's hitting his apexes just with a little bit more consistency. I think he's going to make that pass eventually.
TBMGXR on the chat room says, just tail him until he gets too pressured and F's it up. I'm not gonna use the F word.
And that's
but that's the right theory, right?
It's a good plan for a 2.5-hour race.
Yeah.
You don't have to make that move. I mean, you've got plenty of time to go. So if you just keep your cool and keep doing your thing, just wait for him to make a mistake.
You want to check on the back of the pack? See some other guys?
Yeah, I'm waiting for that move to happen because you know it will.
Could be.
I don't want to miss it. So we got Chris here.
Let's check in on Chris.
13th place. I think we've lost 2 people, so this is last place.
CQR Chris is our man Chris Peak. Drives with the Online Racing Association, TORA, in the white GT40. I think he has some trouble at the top of this race.
Yeah, and he hasn't been able to climb back.
Yeah. It's hard to say how far behind he is.
He seems to be a mile behind if we look at the mile counters here.
Oh, okay,
I think the other guys were just 161 miles and he's 160. At those speeds, a mile is not that long.
Right, right. Yeah, it's got to be frustrating when you're dealing with drivers this elite. One mistake early, you pay for it the rest of the race.
Yeah, and he'll be looking at. You can see he didn't really position the car for that chicane on entry.
But hey, an hour to go. You know, he can still stick it. So keep going. Keep after it. You never know what'll happen. Back to the race. Yeah, Lamar and Johnny.
They already swapped positions.
So we missed the pass.
That pass happened.
Poor direction by the producer. We'll blame Hav.
But yeah, it looks like LMR Midnight got that position back in the blue Ferrari.
Yep.
But again, he's not running away with it.
No, these guys are really evenly matched.
Down on front. What's going on? Maybe somebody in 4th is making a move.
I think I saw him behind there. Yep.
There is a car right here.
Yeah.
Good eye.
Yeah. Come right over that curve, that hill.
So right here we're looking at Mopar in 5th place and being chased by Bob Dixon in 6th place. From the chasing car point of view, that's always more exciting. Getting a glimpse of that car, just enough to keep him hungry.
Yeah, he's just a dot up there, but in these chicanes he'll get bigger and he'll try to grab him. He dropped that earlier, but I wanted to give a shout out to F4H Bullet, who was with us today. He's from Soledad, California. He's a 22-year-old college student, works for Starbucks. He's been playing Forza since Forza Motorsport 2 and has been a big racing fan since he was 12 years old. He's been part of Fight for Her Motorsports for 2 years now, and he thinks it's a great club to be part of. So thanks for being here. We're sorry you dropped off earlier. But we're really happy that you made it. So thanks for racing with us. I think, do we still have HMR Motorhead in the race? He might have dropped out as well. He might have been one of the other guys to drop out.
Kind of our casualties, yeah.
Okay. Well, let me give a shout out to him as well. His name is James Brown. He's from the United Kingdom. HMR Motorhead is his gamer tag, and he's part of the Virtual Motorsport team. He started with Forza Motorsport 3, another relative newcomer, and he's learned his trade in the R1 and X classes. And then I found a forum at the end of doing leaderboards on P2P. And he got his first ever top 10s at that point. Oh, wow, look at this. Right side by side. Great stuff between Johnny and Midnight.
This is the battle of the race right here.
Yeah, then this is the best race on the track right now. LMR, he broke later than Johnny, but he just didn't have it. Maybe he didn't have the right line. HMR Motorhead hit the ground running on FM4, Forza 4, and got involved in the forums, and then started his virtual motorsport career just last year, 2012.
Just 1 year in.
Yeah. From there, it only gets better. He took pole and won the TORA Sebring 12 Hours earlier this year.
Was that an actual 12-hour race?
I think so. It must have been.
Those guys are crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't have called it. Oh, wow, look at there. LMR Midnight just goes straight through. He's, that's going to cost him. We should black flag him. Let's black flag him for doing that.
He did the right thing.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, if you're gonna blow it like that, you gotta just take your lumps. There's still plenty of race to go. You can reel them back in. You've done it before.
He lost a little bit, but he's still in it. He's still in it.
I know. Is that a new line? Maybe every time go straight through. It's a new option.
It's a little bit unorthodox.
Yeah, a little bit unorthodox. But no, you're right. He's not that far behind him.
He's not, and he just needs to get back into it.
Boy, if you're Johnny now, after a mistake like that, it's like you got to refresh your mindset. You got to really attack. You got to really attack, because you know what that says? It says Midnight is tired. Midnight is feeling a little pressure.
Yeah. And again, we're in the final hour now. We're just 1 minute over 1 hour left.
Right.
And this is when the big mistakes happen.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's been an hour and a half so far. It seems like it's flown. S Biggs TV is happy we went back to replay view. He was tired of
that. Was for you. I saw your comment in the chat.
Good. It is an attractive view, I will say that. But it's not necessarily the best to tell exactly what's happening up ahead. But that's a nice view right there. You can see he's pulled him back in. Midnight refuses to give up.
You can see the different lines too going into that corner.
Yep. Boy, that's reminiscent of like Formula One in the '60s when they'd be drifting through the corners. It's great stuff.
And those old tires used to slide around so much more. You kind of needed to slide that car to get the most out of it. Modern tires are just so different.
Yep. A little bit of cut there. We won't call that a cut. We'll call that an ideal line. All four tires off the track. That's okay.
I was watching a little bit of the real Le Mans this morning, and they do the same thing.
Yeah,
every race driver will use as much track as they can get away with, and that's why they put those speed bumps.
The dead bobbies.
Yeah, the dead bobbies outside the quarters, because otherwise the race drivers are just all too happy to just cut half the track if they can, just to get extra speed and extra time.
Yep. Looked like he went a little deep there. Lost a little time.
He's looking for a gap.
Yep. Wow, we're less than an hour to go.
Any bets on whether Box is still in the lead?
Yeah. Yes, I bet everything I own. So that means you take the opposite,
that's
right?
That's confidence. No.
No?
I will bet everything you own, too.
There he is, the man of the hour. I guess Mopar is still in second? Oh, wait, hold on. Did Bulin Wall take over Mopar?
It looks that way.
Let's see what's going on there.
I wonder if they're so close on the track.
Is this Bulin? Bulin Wall? Yes. Mopar's way behind, or is that a lapped Chris? Hard to say.
It might be Mopar.
Whoa! Ooh. Oh boy, a little wide there. A little dust kicked up. Siphon 68. I think he's still in the race. If not, I want to shout him out as well.
I saw him here in the race, yeah.
Yeah, he's here.
Right here in ninth
Kicking
place.
it in ninth. That is Ryan McDowell. He's from Fort Wayne, Indiana. He is the founder and primary administrator of Formula Forza. So awesome.
Oh, wow.
Great to have him here. Has a passion for motorsport and loves organizing motorsport races. He loves open wheel racing and is really looking forward to Forza Motorsport 5. Awesome. Well, we can't wait to play it with you as well.
It's awesome having guys like that who just do all the hard work of sitting those leagues and races together.
It's a lot of work.
And it's not the kind of work that, you know, racers like to do in general.
Yep.
Everybody just wants to have fun and play and be in a competitive race. Nobody wants to do the groundwork.
The groundwork of setting up forums and maintaining sites and all that stuff. It's not easy to do, so we really appreciate you guys. Yeah, so Siphon 68, well done. Glad to have you here. I think that covers everybody that is here that I have bios for. Unfortunately, I don't have bios for some of the TORA guys. We'll have to get those next time. Next time we do one of these, make sure I have a bio of every racer so we can call you out individually. But we definitely want to thank everyone who's here today, of course, including Chris Supra. His real name is Chris McGrath. I think he's from Ireland, and he chided me for...
He's here in the chat right now. It looks like he just lagged out of the race.
Oh, okay.
It's unfortunate.
Oh, he lagged out. Sorry about that, Chris. Thanks for being here, man. We appreciate you. BG Wumba, who we were talking about earlier. Real name is Will Hines. TG Takumi. Real name Mike D. Is he still in the race? We could take a look at Takumi, if he's still here. No, he must have dropped out as well. And Chris Peak, who is CQR Chris, who we saw at the back of the line there. So thanks to you three from the TORA organization for being here. We really appreciate it.
Mopa right here is just getting that little bit of glimpse of the car ahead of him, the Bulin wall.
Yep. Wow, I seem to remember Mopar being in second place for a good chunk of the race. I don't know what happened. Maybe he had it off. Or maybe it was just a result of a pit stop. And Bulin hasn't taken his yet.
He can see the car ahead of him. You can see it right there.
Yep.
I think he's closing in on him. What's happening with Siphon?
The number 63 Formula Forza car. Whoops.
No, he's still driving his own race.
Let's take a look at what's happening in the real world. Give you guys an update. Not much has changed in the top three. We've still got Christensen. Actually, Sarrazin is now in second place.
Oh, wow.
And Nakajima is in third place in the LMP1 cars. Over in LMP2, we've got Baguette for Oak Racing, Pla for Oak Racing, and Greaves. Mardenborough for the Greaves Motorsport. What else? The other classes.
So did the Audi and the Toyotas have the same number of pit stops, or is somebody
let's see.
on the pit stop schedule?
Pits, the Audi, Christensen's Audi has 12 pits. The Toyotas have 11 and 10, respectively. The LM GTE Pro, we've got two Aston Martin racing cars of Bell and Turner, followed by the Porsche AG team, Manthe, driven by Lieb. And then in the LMGT-AM class, we've got Ruperti, Patrick Dempsey, Dreamboat, Hollywood actor.
In Le Mans.
And driving in Le Mans right now. And in second place in the Dempsey Del Piero Proton. And then O Young in third place right now in the AF course car. So it is, let's see, what time is it in Le Mans right now? It is 3 o'clock here, which makes it about 9 hours ahead. So it's about midnight in Le Mans,
yeah,
I believe.
Should be exactly midnight.
Yep. Midnight or 1 a.m. depending on how far ahead they are. But the dead of night.
Time to be racing in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Great news is stark daylight in Forza Motorsport 4. It's high noon.
Evergreen.
That's right. We're always light. We're always green here in Forza 4. How you holding up, Hav? Doing all right.
So let's see what happened with Mopar and the Bulin wall. Looks like they're still holding station in 3rd and 4th. Much closer now, though, you can see. It's another good fight going on here.
Chris Supra in the chat said, I got his name right, so he will now buy Forza 5.
Well,
wow, I made a sale. That's awesome. Well done. I think is that Chris being lapped? It
That's
must be.
Mopar making a move on the Bulin wall.
He pulled him in.
And yeah.
No kidding.
Relatively quickly, too. I think he made up maybe 5 or 6 seconds in just the span of 2 laps. Yeah, he was obviously going quicker. He was just reeling him in over time.
So it must have been a pit stop. He's not going to make a mistake like that.
Well, everybody does. It's 2.5 hours.
You don't make mistakes, Christian. I've never seen you make a mistake in your career.
Just make sure you're not looking when I make it. Yeah, we've got 50 minutes to go now, and I think just maybe 10 or 15 minutes from now, everybody's going to be looking to just finish the race.
Yep.
You start looking at that timer and you see 30 minutes left, and you start getting kind of refreshed and
you sort of get a second wind. Yeah.
yeah, I think he's running away with this position. I don't think the Bulin wall is going to be a threat. He's being chased. This is Bob Dixon in what seems like 7th place, although there's no 4th, 5th, or 6th.
It could be 6th place.
It could be 6th or 5th or 7th. It's a number.
Yeah. He's in this position, and he has someone ahead of him and behind him, so he's not in the winner.
He's got somebody right behind him, actually.
Oh, a little bit off there. The guy behind him is going to make us some time. Little things like that. It's like you said, a 10th here, a 10th there. It becomes
a long 8-mile lap.
Yep, can turn into a position or two. I'm so glad it's not 2.5 hours of me driving this.
I'm glad too.
There would be nobody watching, and there'd be nobody watching, and the people
in the
were.
wall again. Oh, not again.
not in the wall. I mean, I could keep it on the track. It'd just be people would just getting angry. He's so slow, it's just making me angry. And he's got such a bad attitude.
You know, we could use some traffic in Forza 4. We don't have any. We'll have you driving the bus.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the worst of both worlds. I have no skills, and I've got a sour loser attitude. It's not good. It's not a good attitude. It's not a good combination.
You just need to
sore loser, and I'm no good.
You just need to lose more, then you get used to it.
No, I've been losing all my life. Trust me. I've never gotten used to it. It's the worst. When I was young, I was just my dad used to laugh at me. I was just the worst sore loser. So you know, inevitably, I just stopped doing things because I lost at everything. I stopped playing baseball. I stopped playing everything because I was so sick of losing that I was like, I can't take it anymore. I'm just going to sit here in this chair.
Your own game.
I'm just really good at sitting in this chair, so I'm going to do that.
Can't beat me at that.
Yeah, nobody can beat me at sitting. It's the story of my life.
You know, we're almost 2 hours into this race, and we're still seeing some great consistency from those guys. I mean, they're not all over the place. They're not making mistakes every other corner. They're still holding it together.
Wow, we've got a guy from Dubai watching. F1 UAE. I assume that means United Arab Emirates is watching from Dubai. That is awesome. Welcome, man. I hope you like what you're seeing.
Ahlan wa sahlan. A little bit of Arabic.
Oh. I don't know what you said. You can't curse on the
I said welcome.
Oh, okay.
In Arabic.
You sure about that?
I'm
you would be
pretty
sure. Yeah, you're fairly sure, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we don't often see a lot of players or fans from Middle East.
It's awesome. Love it. I wonder if our friend F1 UAE has been to Yas Marina.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be awesome? I'd love to go there one day.
Would be.
Go to Ferrari World? Oh my God, that'd be so awesome. It's like $5,000 to get in.
But you'll never get out.
Yeah, you never get out. And it's like, well, it's like $5,000 to get in, and that only gets you in the door.
But can you live there?
I could live there. I like it's just the pictures I've seen look amazing.
Yeah.
The inside of that place.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest amusement parks in the world.
I think so. Yeah, it looks astonishing.
I would just pay the $5,000 and just stay for a couple months, save on rent.
Yeah, I just paid $5,000. I'm not leaving this place. You're gonna have to drag me out of here. You have to deport me. I don't know if it's actually $5,000, but I'm sure it's more than I can afford.
If you have to ask.
Yeah, right. If you have to complain about the price, you can't afford it.
Be like one of those tourists. Instead of getting the Ferrari keychain, you get the Ferrari ticket. Pretend you've been to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy a used ticket. That's a lapse right there.
Yeah, you could just.
You want to keep it on black stuff. I mean, you want to take a little bit of maybe of that gravel on the corner entry, but
it didn't look like he was trying to set up a wider entry. He just lost a little concentration.
Taking a break on the straight, yeah. He's got that car ahead of him to keep him going now. This is, we're watching Alex, and he's chasing Bob Dixon.
Okay.
Bob from the UK.
Yep. F1 UAE says he's got 2 screens on his lap, 1 for the real race and 2 for the Forza race. That's how you need to watch it. I got my laptop right here, and I'm doing the same thing. It's awesome. Can't get enough racing, as far as I'm concerned. It's the best racing weekend of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a battle up ahead too, so this could get really interesting.
Let's go watch that. Actually, that's Bob chasing Mopar.
Yep.
And it's interesting because Mopar was actually quite a bit ahead last time we looked at him, we checked in on him.
Again, I think it's coming down to people are taking their pit stops and things are changing a bit in the order here. So some of these guys may not have taken their pit stop yet. Oh wow, look at that! Beautiful inside move.
That was pretty amazing.
Who's in that white GT40? I think
that's Mopar.
Isn't that Chris?
This should be Mopar.
Wow.
Or is it? I don't think this is updated yet. Yeah.
I think that's Chris. I think that's our last place guy. I think he was driving that that white GT40. Anyway, nice move, regardless, on the inside.
Bit of a lapse there. I'm noticing that everybody's having such a hard time getting that car to the apex over there. That corner is just so
the GT40?
tricky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a 3-car battle going on here.
Yep. You think he's scrubbing a little speed on the grass there intentionally?
I don't think he's doing it intentionally. No, I think no. He's just
he's just going wide.
He's fighting to keep the car on the line.
Yep. Yeah, S Biggs TV says it looks like that's Chris being lapped. So I think that's correct. But still, you know, you get that lap traffic in there, it always adds a layer of complication to the race. And you know he's racing. You know he's going wide there. He's obviously pushing very hard.
Almost made contact with that Ferrari, but I think they both came out okay.
They worked it out. So it's really good to see him. You know, even though he's getting lapped, he's still pushing hard. I like that.
Mm-hmm. And it's a good chance to follow those guys and see how they're a little bit quicker than you.
Yeah, you can make up some time there.
Yeah, learn a few.
The race might be done for you, but keep going, man. Keep going.
They are really throwing these cars around.
Yep.
I kind of wonder what's going on with Elmar Midnight and Johnny. They were fighting it out.
That seems to be the race of the race within the race.
I've lost count of how many times they swapped places. So we're looking at Johnny right now. He's in 11th place, chasing 10th place Midnight.
Hard to say from some of
Looks
these
like
views
he lost
where
touch with him.
Yeah.
He's a little bit out of touch. Maybe he made a big mistake. Is that a dent on a door?
I don't know. Is that just the design?
It's hard to see.
Just a contour.
And he's being chased by a Ferrari right now too.
Wumba?
That's BG Wumba's.
Let's talk a little bit about what some of these groups have coming up. If you're interested in learning more about any of these racing associations we've got, we'll start with TORA. Again, that's the onlineRacingAssociation.com. They've got their own version of the TORA Le Mans 24 Hours that's happening next weekend, I believe, over the 29th and 30th of June. Qualifying sessions run all through next week and will be shown live on TORA TV. The race proper starts at 2 p.m. GMT on Saturday, the 29th of June, and with coverage starting at 1 p.m. Aside from that, they've got the International Sports Car Championship, ISCC, is also coming up. This is multi-class racing for LMP1, LMPC, and GTE cars. There are currently 160 cars entered, with a calendar starting
160.
Starting in July at Sebring and running through Road Atlanta in November. And they say running through Road Atlanta in November just in time for Xbox One and Forza Motorsport 5. 160 people, that is awesome. And if you're in the UK, you can actually watch TORA races on TV. Did you know that?
No,
they have a deal with, I'm blanking on the channel right now, where you can actually watch it, but they're using TORA content on one of the channels on like Sky TV or something like that. So you can actually watch these guys do their thing. It's pretty awesome.
We got a question on the chat. How do you sign up for the TORA race? I don't think we have instructions, but I would just go to their website, theonlineRacingAssociation.com. Head on over there now, and there has to be instructions there for signing up.
Yep.
I think there's still time.
Yep. I'm sure there's plenty of opportunities to get involved across all skill levels. I mean, we're looking at some of the best racers, but you know, the great thing about these organizations, all skill levels are supported.
And when you have 160 cars in a league, you will find somebody who's close in speed to you, and that's all that matters. You want to race with somebody who's close enough.
Absolutely.
So this is BJ Wumba, and he's kind of hanging in there, trying to threaten Elamar Johnny in 11th place ahead of him. Not quite there yet, but
using all that track there, making the most out of that wide turn, making that chicane as wide as he possibly can, or that hairpin as wide as he possibly can. What you got to do.
Should we check in on our
I want to, yeah. Let's see what the box is doing. Just running away with it. Not a dent, not a scratch, nothing.
Very clean.
Just clean, untouched. We're under 40 minutes left in the 2013 Forza Le Mans Challenge, and TPR box is running away with it. Maybe we look at some of his telemetry again just to show people how the man does it. You can look and see this. I'm not sure it's as easy to replicate it.
Yeah,
you know?
That's the trick.
Yep.
But it really is the trends that you're looking for.
He's 80% on the gas right there. You know, he's.
If you look at the friction, he's just getting the most out of his tires. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Hard and fast on the brakes, nice and easy on the gas, and placing the car where it needs to be.
You know, we say that there might be a chance that one of these guys will make a mistake, but not that we've been with Box that long in this race because he's just run away with it, but I haven't really seen him make a mistake. He's just, that just speaks to lots of practice, lots of familiarity, knows the car, knows the track, and the guy's mentally tough.
And it's a lot of experience. Again, it goes back to like just catching the small mistakes before they become big ones. Everybody makes mistakes. You know, even somebody like Box is probably running within 1 or 2 seconds of his best lap all the time, and that's fantastic consistency. But it's obviously, again, the lap that's kind of if you're 2 seconds behind your best lap, you've obviously made small mistakes.
Right.
But you have enough experience and car control to just prevent them from becoming big mistakes that really cost you.
Is that what you're referring to when you say quick hands? You just can
you
correct
just have
it?
to be in touch with the car, and you have
Yep.
to know what to do, and you have to. It's hard to describe, but you just, you know, if you realize that you're carrying a little bit too much speed into that corner and you're not going to make the apex, don't try to force it. You just take an alternative line, scrub off the speed as gently as you can, and then get back on your way. If you realize that you weren't as wide on entry as you wanted to be, you know that you're going to have to brake just that little bit more to make it to the apex.
Right.
So it's all those little things that, again, you're always going to make mistakes. Just make sure they're as small as they can.
Minimize them, yeah. Absolutely. Third gear going down, beginning the Mulsanne. Let's see if he hits 200 here. he blipped it last time we looked at him, so see if he's found any tricks to get over at this point.
And he has a big gap over here, so
he might be taking it easy.
He doesn't have reason to push.
Yeah.
And this is the time to just bring it home.
199, yeah. So really, he has no reason to be pushing, but it seems like he's still going after it.
Yeah. Using all the track, but not a tire in the grass or the gravel.
Right.
Yeah, if we take a quick look, he's covered 200, and I think he's going to be going on 233 miles here soon. And then we can take a look at second place. So he just crossed into 233 miles. Let's see how far second place is. 230. So
he's 3 miles behind.
3 miles ahead. That's about a third of a lap, a little bit more.
So, minute and a half, something like that. Minute and a half ahead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got over a minute for sure.
That's impressive. And this guy's cooking. I mean, this guy's no slouch.
Yeah, the car's where it needs to be.
Yep.
He's not making that many mistakes.
I think one of the questions, though, is has Box pitted? You know?
That's a good question.
Yep. He might be saving it till the end there. The gentleman's agreement they've agreed to is that you can't do it on the last lap, but he might be saving his powder, trying to open that Sebastian Vettel-like gap as early as possible, and then take his pit stop when he feels like he's got that comfortable gap. Right now, he's got a very comfortable gap.
Yeah, and if it is a minute and a half, again, you think that's such a huge gap, but keep in mind, it took him 2 hours to build that gap.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. A bit Mopar.
What are you laughing at, Hoff? I see you laughing over there.
And we've got Mopar another mile behind the next car.
Oh, he's a further mile back?
Mm-hmm.
Man. You know what we should do next year? We should do it on Tsukuba. 2.5 hour race on Tsukuba. There'd be no gaps. There'd be nothing but passing.
There'll be no sane people at the
I'm
end
talking
of
about Tsukuba Club, too. The small...
I don't count that as a real track.
I don't count that as anything. It's more like a merry-go-round or something.
Yeah. Little parking lot.
I don't know. I think I'm in the minority. I think we're in the minority. A lot of people love Tsukuba. It's not.
I love racing Tsukuba, but it's very hard to make a move.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You can barely fit one car on there, not much less.
Yeah.
What's your favorite track in the game?
I have to say Suzuka.
Yeah. It's just got everything.
It's got this flow to it that no other race comes close. There's nothing that was just in a way to slow down the cars, or you could argue the last chicane, but even the chicane, and I don't usually like chicanes, even the chicane on Suzuka, it makes sense.
It makes a weird kind of sense.
It feels good when you do it right.
Yep.
And it's got those fast flowing corners, decreasing radius corners, all sorts of stuff thrown at you.
It's great.
The S's are just, it's probably, it has to be on my bucket list to just drive that track in real life.
Yep.
Whichever way I can. in any car. It doesn't really matter what car.
Wow, I'm looking at this shot of nighttime at the real Le Mans race. It's just lit up like a circus. It looks beautiful. Weather there seems pretty nice. Cloudy. 17 degrees. Well, the air temperature is about 15 degrees Celsius. Track temperature is about 17.
That's a bit chilly.
Yeah, a little bit of wind. Humidity is 78%. Not too bad. I'll give you guys an update on the race. See if anything's changed for the top guys. Nope, still Christensen, Sarrazin, and Nakajima, top 3 LMP1 cars.
I am not used to seeing the Audi pit more than the other cars, though. That's,
yeah.
I was reading how the Audi is different, and they're kind of getting more power out of the engine and using 20% more fuel this time around than they used in the past.
I heard before the race began, the guys in the lobby were talking about how one of the Audis, I think it was the #1 car, was spending a ton of time in the pits, and I don't even see it on the leaderboard right now. So. Something happened, I think, to that car. Maybe it DNF'd or something, but only 2 Audis racing right now in the LMP1, according to this. Oh, actually, now that I look at it, it looks like it might be a little wet on the track, but that might just be a smudgy camera. Anyway, not much has changed in the real race, it seems. And it seems like things have evened out here a bit as well. He's behind him.
No, we got a little chase
there.
here. This is Johnny. He's being chased by BG Wumba again. I think Johnny had a really exciting race. Probably the most exciting race of anybody here. He was fighting it with Midnight for a good while there, for maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, maybe 10 laps. And now he's being chased by Wumba, and he's not that far.
No.
You can see it right here.
We're approaching 30 minutes left.
That's Biggs, I think, answers your question. He says the Audi is in 16th place due to electrics.
Ah, okay, there you go. As soon as we're done here, I'm gonna go watch the race. There's lots of racing left to do.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. Let's talk a little bit about what Formula Forza's got going on. Let's see. They've got a lot going on as well coming up. Again, you can go to formulaforza.com and check out what they're all about and how to get involved. They're also on Facebook at facebook.com/pages/formula-forza if you want to check them out on Facebook. First and foremost, they've got their brand new Super GT series, debuts in July. Their first race is on July 21st. And the series will retain most of the rules from Formula Forza's flagship R1 series, which has been proven and battle tested to be competitive, fair, and most of all very fun. The series will comprise of Super GT and JGTC GT500 cars and GT300 cars. GT300 will be made up of any production car except Mosler and Roscian between R3700 and 800 PI. A minimum weight of 2,500 pounds and a maximum power rating of 600 horsepower, with a 50% power restriction to 300 effective HP.
That's fun.
Making the rules very similar to the real deal. The drivers will be split into equal fields on both classes in each lobby, ensuring lots of passing in action. We are accepting 20 teams of 2 drivers. That's cool. 10 drivers per class, 40 drivers total. And registration is open now. We will be solidifying the entrant list 2 weeks before the first qualifying session. Oh boy, what happened? It just went wide?
Just a little bit more of the track than he should have.
And what a bad place to make a mistake, because it just affects the rest of this straight.
And those cars just don't take well to those speed bumps.
Yep. It's tough. Things are getting down to brass tacks here in the closing minutes of the race.
We have a question on the chat about the class and car restrictions for this race. We're running the Ferrari 330 P4 and the Ford GT40, only those 2 cars, and they're upgraded to the top of A class on the full Le Mans track.
Cosmetic damage, but yeah, like you said, tuning allowed in A class. So there's an article on the Super GT series coming up on formulaforza.com. You can check it out for yourself. Let's see. Formula Forza says They can also confirm they will be hosting a new series once Forza Motorsport 5 on the Xbox One hits the store shelves, featuring the new to Forza open wheel cars. So that's awesome. Formula Forza strives to bring the pinnacle of racing technology to Forza Motorsport fans who crave organized racing. Our current flagship series, the R1 Championship, will also return to Forza Motorsport 5, and they'll be bringing a new series to complement the R1 series. They'll be creating a series that will help shape the new to R1 drivers into better ones in the class. So if you're not very good at R1,
R1 is tough. It's very, very tough.
Yeah, it's like a different beast. Even from R2 and R3, it seems like it
really tests your
reaction times.
Speed,
yeah. Of course, all the details will be released in the coming months regarding new series, but Formula Forza plans to be back in Forza Motorsport 5 in a very big way. So, wow, a lot of stuff going on with Formula Forza, so you don't want to miss that. Head over to them and check it out. And Virtual Motorsports, too. They've got a lot going on. You can go to virtual-motorsports.com to check out everything they've got going on. I made my, I'm embarrassed to say, but I was happy to do it, made my first post over at the Virtual Motorsports forums recently, inviting people over to this. So happy to join those guys over there, and I hope to post some more.
We have a question about tire wear. It's not on actually, but we do have an agreement for one pit stop. Every driver is going to make one pit stop before the end of the race.
Yep. You know, in retrospect, we probably could have turned on damage. Just seeing these guys are minimal contact. We probably could have done it, but we just wanted to make sure that long race, that no one is crippled because of some mistake in the first corner or something like that. So.
Again, one of those seemingly never-ending battles. BG Wumba chasing Johnny.
Yep.
Johnny already making mistakes. Just 25 minutes to go. That's
they've been at it for more than 2 hours.
Yeah, and that's 8 laps or so, I think. No, probably less than that. These guys are running close to 4 minutes, so it'll be close to 6
laps.
Or 7
yeah,
laps.
6 more laps to go. Oh, look at that.
There we go. Now we can taste the blood. And
look
at that.
Yeah, things are closing up.
4. You can see 4 cars ahead of him. I think the pit stops, people got the pit stops out of the way, maybe.
Yep. So maybe things were closer than we were intimating all race.
Just different timing.
Yeah, once these pit stops stop, you
look at that.
see where they are.
Really great view of cars in front of him.
Yep.
If that doesn't get you going, nothing will.
He's clipping these corners there. You see that dust kick up. Owen, our Roadrunner in the chat, says he's got some Rivals Le Mans tunes for the Ford and the Ferrari for the Rivals modes that we have up right now in Forza Motorsport 4. He'll only have those. Oh, it looks like Chris had a mistake there. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yep, that's our man Chris. Those tunes will only be up for 30 minutes. So if you want to grab them, look for ONR_Roadrunner. I'm assuming that's your gamer tag.
Maybe switch a couple of cars ahead and see.
Sure. This looks like a good battle, but it might end up a great battle. Just to recap again for those who are joining late, we've got a lot of stuff going on this weekend for Le Mans. We've got the live stream, of course, happening right now. You'll be able to watch the replay a little bit later today if you're so inclined. We've also got 2 Rivals events that I just mentioned. You can find them in the monthly, the community channel on Forza Motorsport for Rivals mode. Wow, we've got some stuff happening here.
Yeah,
things might be happening.
We're looking at Lamar Midnight, and he's being chased by Siphon.
Yep. While we're watching this battle, let me finish up real quick with the lobbies we've got. We've got the 2.4 hours of Le Mans race. You can get in there. It's a multi-class race. Get in there with your friends and battle it out in several different classes of cars. Oh boy.
Big mistake.
Classic
big mistake. Yep. Left the door wide open.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now he tries to get that position back.
He could pull him back in. He's close enough here. And we have the 360 lap challenge, the Le Mans challenge again. Boy, look at this. They are side by side. This is awesome. Plenty of room. Aggressive, but these guys are racing safe.
And this is just amazing to think of. I mean, we've been racing for over 2 hours now, 2 hours and about 10 minutes. And those two guys are still this close to each other on the track. I mean, they've driven 250 miles plus.
And they're
in
inches
two different
away.
cars.
Yeah.
And they're still right there.
That's amazing.
Incredible stuff.
So the 360 lap challenge, the Le Mans challenge lobby, if you drive all 360 or 360 laps, take a picture of it, digital picture, send us it.
No Photoshop.
No Photoshop, we can tell. And we want to have your gamer tag in the picture and proof that you've completed 360 of 360 laps. Send it to forzafb@microsoft.com, and if you do that and we verify that it's you, we will send you all the unicorn cars in Forza Motorsport 4. So it's 24 hours worth of racing, but we try to make it worth your while. And I also should mention we still have some paint competitions. Little Vixen has Le Mans themed competitions in Forza Horizon and in Forza Motorsport 4. You can go to the forums and check that out as well. She's giving unicorn cars away for that as well. So lots of stuff going on with Le Mans this weekend. All the events will shut down on Monday, so get in there now while you still can. Well, they were nose to tail for a second there, but
this is really interesting because it looks like Sarthe is just running away with it.
Mm-hmm.
We never really saw him when he was that much quicker than Lamar Midnight, but he's thriving on being in the lead.
Yep.
And we have that Ford GT of Elamar Johnny showing its nose again in the distance.
Shredder944 says, all I need is one last unicorn so he doesn't think he'll be doing the 24-hour challenge. Come on. That
Only 2 unicorns of each?
Yeah. Don't you want multiple copies? You mean you're not willing to commit 24 hours of your life? It looks like he's just getting a little, not sloppy, not desperate, just he's working hard.
Yeah, he's trying hard.
Yeah. Sloppy and desperate is my driving style.
Yeah, you can see how much it cost him right there.
Yep.
And now he has to start thinking whether he's going to be able to keep that spot from Johnny right behind him. I mean, those two guys have been fighting pretty much all race.
Yep. By now their hands are probably aching. Sore wrists, sore fingers.
Checking on the guys in the front for a little bit. The Bulin wall is in 3rd place or 2nd.
He's in 2nd and 3rd place. That's how fast he is. 76 car. I like this Formula Forza livery they came out with. It looks great. Yeah, they did a nice job really representing their site.
Looks like no threats.
Yep, he's all alone.
Checking in right now on Bob Dixon, who's nowhere to be found. Oh,
there he is.
He's in 5th place. A little all over the place. But again, no threats. Nobody ahead, nobody behind. It looks like that. That's the battle to watch right here. Johnny, Midnight, and Siphon. Yep. Still battling it out.
Yep. And they got somebody behind him too, but
he gained some time back. Look at that.
He's 10 seconds behind. Yeah, he's reeling him in again. This is just fortitude. This is just will, you know. Which one of these guys is gonna gut it out at the end? They're evenly matched.
Looks like there's another 2 cars locked up in a fight right behind them. That would be Johnny and BG Wumba. And when you're in such a close battle, you just lose track of time.
Yep.
Now it's just about getting that place that you want.
They are probably paying attention to the clock, but mainly it's just like the next corner or the corner ahead of that.
Yeah. And if you're ahead, you want the clock to run quicker, and if you're behind, you want it to be a little bit slower just to have enough time.
Unless you're boxing, you're actually 30 minutes in the future right now, and you've already finished. He's actually eating some schnitzel right now.
The food of champion drivers.
Yeah, he's enjoying a huge stein of beer, eating schnitzel, and
I think about it. Michael Schumacher, Sebastian Vettel.
Yep.
Old
Something.
Germans.
Yep. Something about the food. Something about that labor casing.
Ooh, look at that. That's such a good shot. So this is BG Wumba we're on board with. Ahead of him is LMR Johnny, and behind him is that CQR Chris, or is that a lapped car?
I thought CQR Chris is the lapped car. He's last place, right?
Yeah.
So.
But right here,
But
we're
he's in
watching
a white.
Wumba, and there's another red Ferrari right behind him.
Is that box? No, couldn't be.
Let's see. Only one way to find out. Let's get on board with Box. Is he lapping 7th or 8th place already?
I think so. I think that might be him. Yep.
That's impressive.
That's ridiculous.
That's impressive. And
He's lapping 7th place right now.
He's going to affect that fight that's going on between the guys in front, because those guys are racing each other. He's not.
Basically, he could put the car in reverse and run the rest of the race in reverse and still win if he wanted to.
No.
Well, he was excited when he got the invite. He said he wanted to kick some butt, and he certainly has kicked some butt today. Wow, what a great shot that is. I love it.
Next time we need to make sure those guys have liveries on their cars with their driver names.
Yeah, or at least numbers. That's on us.
Mm.
We forgot. We organized this relatively last minute, but it's been great to have everybody show up. Yeah, TPR Box is about to lap 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th place. It seems like.
It'll be very interesting to
or 5th place, I should
see
say.
those guys, what happens to their fights when Box gets in the middle.
And you know, we're looking at 5th, 6th, and 7th place here, all very fast guys, and TPR is just going to eat them up.
It's very impressive to lap at Le Mans, but again, he's built it over 2 hours and 15 minutes.
And again, we don't know if he's taken his pit stop yet.
That's true.
So, he may be saving that. Although if I was him, I'd just take it.
Already.
Why would you bother with passing these cars? Just take
now
your
you're
pit
just losing
stop,
time.
you know?
Yeah. And if he hasn't, I don't know if he has. There are not that many laps left where you can take the pit stop if you don't want it to be on the last lap.
Right. It's not worth getting in this fight. I suspect he probably already has taken his pit stop.
It's just fun to watch him drive. Throw that car around.
Yep. This is Midnight and Johnny, I believe he's approaching. Not an easy place to pass here, even if you're clearly quicker than the cars ahead of you. You just need to lay back here, I think. Wait till you got a natural spot. But he's pushing. Look at him. He's trying to get on the inside. He wants it. He might get it here. He'll take it here. Boy, and that's really disrupting his race too. Johnny's he's just trying to get out of the way. We don't have the benefit of like blue flags here, you know.
Yeah, with the blue Ferrari. That's it's midnight, isn't it?
Yep. It would be hilarious to me if TPR goes into the pits right now after all of this. It's like, I got to pit now. And you can even see the fourth place car up ahead, I think. Up ahead of midnight. So you got to figure that TPR will get him here. Oh. Just so much speed coming out of that final chicane.
Yeah.
Amazing. Look at that. Just cuts right in front of him. TPR is like, man, no joke. No prisoners taken.
Yeah, that's just an amazing display of speed and consistency.
Yep, absolutely. There's not much, I mean, not much more you can say about it. The guy is amazing, but all these guys are amazing.
Yeah. That little bit more extra consistency makes a huge difference.
Makes all the difference.
You didn't see too much smoke going around the corners. He doesn't put the car in the gravel too much. The car is just lap to lap. It's in the same place. Yeah, see, just the right amount of curb, just the right amount of track.
Tom87 says, I think he's referring to box here. He says he knows that if he doesn't push through, second could make up the ground and be right on him. He has to push through unless he wants to risk the win. I don't know. I think second place is kind of far behind.
Yeah, we're looking at box now. He's covered 283 miles. You know, last time we checked, he wasn't that far off. The Bulin wall.
283 miles for box.
I'm going to guess 4 miles maybe. 4 to 5 miles difference. Oh, not
2
even
miles.
that. It's just 2 miles.
Okay, so maybe you're right.
That's actually a smaller gap than we saw last time.
He's made up some time, it seems like. And we are approaching 10 minutes left. Boy, we got about two and a half laps left, it seems. And I love the fact that it's 2 separate cars here. And well done with choosing the 2 cars for this. And yeah, Tom points out that now second place is going to have to deal with those cars that TPR just passed.
Yeah, I'm wondering when they're going to start showing up.
Yeah, I think I just saw one of them at the far end of the straight there. I'm seeing if they see him dive left here. No, they're not in sight yet. Oh, there they are.
Right there.
They're going around. One of them is going around the corner there. So he's gonna wind up in lap traffic. If not this lap, then probably next lap.
Yeah, and we only have. It looks like we're only gonna have 3 more laps of this.
Yep.
Before the timer runs out.
Yep. Do you think he's like sending like psychic vibes to box right now, just trying to psych him out?
It'll take much more than that.
Probably.
I have to say though, he's also very consistent.
Yep.
Very good car placement.
You know, it's weird. Takumi is in this race, but we can't see him.
Oh, interesting.
He's not showing up on the list, so maybe he's at, because they're saying in the chat that Takumi might be second place. Something's going on.
Is that the gap that we're missing here between first and third?
Maybe. For some reason, we can't see Takumi in our feed. So, Takumi, it's nothing personal. We just couldn't see you in the feed. If you're out there racing, well done. You may be in second place for all we know.
Yeah, he's gaining on that car.
Yep. He'll get him, if not this lap, next lap.
Look at that fight that was brewing between Johnny, Midnight, and Wumba. Oh, it's right here.
There it is. Look at that. 2 wide. I love it. Oh, let's see what happens here. Staying out of each other's way. I love that. That's what you do. Oh boy, you can just see he's able to get so much earlier on that gas that.
And look at that, Wumba just very opportunistic there.
Yep. Yeah, did you just hit from behind? Look at this.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Oh, he's got him here.
There's no way around it.
There's no way. Don't try to block him. Just accept it. It's coming. The pass is coming. I don't know. I mean, look at this. It's great stuff. Yeah, he's got him.
Look at that pack. There's not much between them. 2 hours and 25 minutes into the race, and
they
still
are
doing this.
side by side. Look at that. Great stuff.
That was
hold up. Oh, people getting a little chippy out there. Woo!
That'll work out in favor of Midnight, which just kind of opened up that gap just a little bit more.
Yep.
It only needs to hold it up for another 6.5 minutes.
And now Johnny has a great chance to take over Wumba here.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look like he's going to get him in the hairpin. Or in this chicane, I should say, yeah.
Yeah,
they're fighting, aren't they?
Coming in a little too hot.
Yeah,
kind of,
but he held it. He held it. It didn't seem like he lost anything. But he might be able to get him at this hairpin, at the hairpin. Tom87 says, I think that was for returning the, I think it was returning the love for bumping him off the track earlier. Little quid pro quo, maybe?
I don't think anybody's hitting anybody intentionally in this race.
I will not repeat what a Korean mango just put in the chat, but it's very funny. Tom87 sums it up well. Less than 5 minutes left, and they're still going at it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I feel they're still going to be going at it right to the finish line.
Yeah, that's great.
It's just... This here is for 10th place.
It's great. I mean, every place has seen action. Middle of the pack, back of the pack has seen great racing action.
Except first place.
First place, not
see
so
as much action as we'd like to see.
But then again, we were saying that they're closer than we thought. So the first and second are closer than we thought. So
yeah, being less than a third of a lap behind. Do you think Johnny's going to be able to make something happen here?
I mean, he's proven resilient throughout this race, but now will be the final lap, right? 4 minutes left, so.
And Wumba's driving a really white car right now.
Yep, he's going to have to take a risk, and it might end up in tears. You know, it might. You can see him pushing right there. He's hopping over that dead Bobby. But that cost him, you know. Wumba's making the most of it. And, you know, I want to see some moves. I want to see some inside moves. I want to see... This is the lap you guys got to make it count. 3.5 minutes left. CPR box is probably just now coming around the corner of the final, final few corners here.
Wumba's just holding him off, just barely.
Yep.
That's less than a second
Let's
gap.
think about where the passing opportunities here are. They're at the end of
chicanes.
each of these chicanes, and the hairpin are the best opportunities.
Yeah.
And look, he's just, look how far behind he is. He's just, I feel like he's trying too hard at parts of the track where you're not gonna make up any, you're not gonna be able to take advantage of it. I guess he was just trying to set himself up for the best possible run he could get.
Yeah, it looks like he opened it up.
Yeah.
Unless he makes a big mistake, I think he's going to have this spot.
And now he's coming after Midnight, and Midnight might have a little bit too much of a gap.
Yeah, those two fighting each other kind of gave Midnight the gap that he needed to just... he's just far enough from the next spot out that I don't think he can make it back. That's Siphon. He kind of... Siphon, I think, gained that spot. We saw him do it 5 or 6 laps back.
I haven't spent a lot of time with Siphon today, but he's driven a good race. Right in the middle of the pack there.
This is the Bulin wall we're watching right now. He is in either second or third, depending on where Takumi is.
Yep.
We're not sure. I can't see Takumi.
I wish we could see Takumi, because in my mind I imagine he is on TPR Box's tailpipe, and he's been that way for 2.5 hours. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool, but
I suspect that's not the case.
I wonder if we should have seen his car on the track. So we're now back with the leader. I think who's going to cross the finish line soon here for the last time. I don't know if do you think he's going to make it to the end of this lap? We've got exactly 1 minute to
yeah,
go.
I think he'll make. Well, that's a good point. This is one of the slowest parts of the track, so it's hard to say. $50 seconds left in the 2013 Forza Le Mans Challenge. 15 of the best drivers in the Forza world brought together to race here on Le Mans Day, I guess you'd say. 24-hour Le Mans Day. It's a national holiday. It's a worldwide holiday. Should be. 30 seconds left. I don't know if he'll get to the end, but TPR Box has driven a flawless race.
30 seconds to go, 305 miles driven.
Yeah, he might be we'll be one of the only cars who gets over 300 miles in this race.
I think we will have a few.
You think?
Oh yeah, you're right. Wow.
There you go.
296 miles in 8th place.
The race is over.
So this is probably the first of the lapped cars. It's 8 miles behind.
Yep. Don't forget to save that replay.
And that was it.
There you go. There's your 2013 Forza Le Mans Challenge. Let's see if we get the final tally here when we come out of the lobby. TPR Box, Takumi in second place.
There it is.
Bulin Wall. Oh, we couldn't save the replay. Oh, well, I don't know what happened there. So your final finishing is TPR Box in the Ferrari 330 P4, followed by Takumi, and then Bulin Wall, Mopar, F4H Koenigsegg, which we actually didn't see a lot of in the race, but he was there. HMR Motorhead, Bob Dixon, Siphon 68, LMR Midnight, Wumba, Johnny
and Chris.
Chris, OPC killer. He wasn't in the race. And then finally, Eckberg T10 came in 16th place as a spectator. So a fantastic race. Christian, final thoughts? Just amazing to watch how consistent these guys are.
Yeah, finishing a 2.5-hour race within a couple of seconds of the car ahead of you and the car behind you is just incredible stuff.
Amazing, amazing. So once again, just to let you guys know, thank you to everyone who drove in this race. Thanks to everyone who watched it. One more plug for all three of the organizations who joined us today. TORA, the Online Racing Association, you can find them at theonlineracingassociation.com. Virtual Motorsports at virtual-motorsports.com. And Formula Forza at formulaforza.com, or on Facebook at facebook.com/pages/formula-forza. And of course, you can check out what we've got going on at the official Forza Motorsport community page at forzamotorsport.net, on Facebook at facebook.com/Forza Motorsport, on Twitter at Forza Motorsport, and we are at Le Mans this weekend, so we're tweeting photos from the race. The guys may be asleep right now. I don't even know. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning at Le Mans.
If you go to 24 hours of Le Mans.
No, you stay up all night.
Yeah.
So look for more stuff as throughout Sunday as they tweet more cool stuff. And we've got more cool stuff coming up as well in the coming weeks here on live streams and elsewhere. So follow us, get involved wherever you can. We'll do another Game with Dev. Hav, our man here running the show, is going to be doing a painting show next week. So here on the live stream, so you can watch him do his awesome thing as he creates a livery on a car right before your very eyes. So you don't want to miss that. If you want to brush up on your paint skills, don't miss it. So anyway, for Christian Gurgis, I am Brian Eckberg, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Oh, watch out.